There it is, baby. There it is. So what are we doing tonight? That's a really good question. Okay, so I'm gonna look at my roster. I'm not gonna change my lineup. Again, I'm not gonna change my lineup. I just want to see what I have going on. I want to see if maybe I have like a shaman or a warlock that's like kind of leveled. Fuck off. I love needing to use add-ons. Makes me so happy. Okay, let's war 50, but it's a Vulpira. That's not happening. I will not be playing with that. And a chamois. Level 10 chamois. Damn. This is probably going to be the guy I level. But again, that's not happening right now. We are going to gear our Death Knight. Whoa, 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 whoa.
What the hell is this?
It's 10 p.m. WoW stream. What does it look like?
I guess it does look like that.
That's what I thought. You dumb bitch.
I was playing Inscription yesterday at Big Liss's house.
Ooh.
It was pretty fun, but I probably won't get it unless it's on sale.
Honestly, I'm not a hater, I promise. It's not worth buying.
Yeah, if I can get for like $5, I'd play it. Like, it was fun to play the endless, like, the end game
Yeah,
thing at
the
their
card
house.
game part is fun. Everything besides the card game part is, like, actually horrible.
Yeah, but how much of the game is that?
2/3.
Hmm.
That's why I'm saying it's not worth it. You need to finish, like, 1/3 of the campaign is that card game. And then after you finish the other 2/3, then you can do the endless mode.
What is the other 2/3? Like, what do you do?
Like, so, it sucks.
It's
It's like a... how would I describe it? It's like a, kind of like sprite style game, and you duel people, but it's not like you need to build your deck to fight every fucking individual enemy. It just was not fun for me. Like, you go in wanting to play a roguelike card game, and it's like, no, you're gonna sit here and deal with the mistakes you made. No refresh.
One of the builds that I ended up getting, I think I did like 4 or 5 runs over there. I had a 19-4 wolf with the Mantis God triple strike.
Nice,
What?
nice. Yeah,
And
the
I
Mantis God
one-shot the
attack
moon.
is crazy.
I did
What game is
one-shot
this?
Inscription.
Is it time
Zeb, your abilities have
I've
arrived.
never heard of that. What is that?
It's that fucking card game that I played like 2 years ago on stream.
Oh, I kind of remember it.
Yeah.
That game seemed pretty
Zeb, you
cool.
missed out, man. I was streaming in the morning.
Wow.
I was streaming me making a dab before Bill talking to Roach because he
Oh,
was in my
God.
chat. We were just chatting.
Dude,
He was talking about he's talking about how he wants to play Sea of Thieves with you.
I know, I need to make time to play Sea of Thieves with him.
But he wants to shit on the noobs.
I'll be back.
He told me he was gonna play tomorrow, so I figured I'd let you know. If you're
I don't
free.
even think I can be on tomorrow.
You're hanging with McKenna?
Just her family and stuff.
Are you gonna watch the new Planet of the Apes movie with them?
What?
It's on Hulu.
I...
So Rex, you
you're
watch
an
it?
ape.
No, I haven't watched it yet. Maybe tonight.
Here there's some apes in it, you know?
What?
Ooh.
Excuse me, Cameron?
There's some apes in Planet of the Apes.
Uh-huh.
Steph, can I give you some advice? Okay, I just realized that those pictures of, I think Riley's posted of you,
Where? What?
they're like hella fight, dude. They
In
made
the other server.
yeah,
of you on
dude,
Carson's
when you,
birthday.
you like greased your hair.
Yeah, well, it was supposed
You
to
look
look
like
funny.
Dracula Flo.
No, I know.
Are you
It
Dracula
just-
Flo?
I'm just saying, it was just made me laugh so fucking hard.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, bro.
The widow's peak.
You think it's not supposed to look fun? You see the shirt I'm wearing? You think that's not supposed to look goofy as fuck?
No,
Can
yeah.
you-
Oh
can
yeah,
you
no, I
just-
thought you were trying to go get the ladies with those fits.
Bro.
Could you use this Dracula flow for Halloween and stuff, please?
No, the real point is like, I don't know, man. I just like I did the slick back thing because I thought it would look funny and realistically, bro, until my hair grows longer, it's gonna look like shit. So either I need to cut it short or let it grow longer.
I feel like if we all did slick backs, I feel like it would just show all of our huge ass foreheads.
Oh yeah,
Not
100%.
Riley, obviously, but
What do you mean, Riley?
Like I said, my hair needs to either grow longer or I just need to cut it short. And for now, I was like, ah, fuck it. This is probably the shit phase where it looks like shit no matter what. So I'm just gonna let it grow longer.
You need a mullet, dude.
I
Go to
might,
England,
but
say that you
it
play
needs to
rugby,
be longer
dude.
first.
If you go to England and say that you play rugby stuff, I swear to God, you'll have so many people crawling on you, men, women.
I love men crawling on me.
I love
personally,
men.
so. But yeah, I gotta fucking. I'm just fucking around until it grows longer. Like the the old photo of my passport photo where I look like
Or the UC
Dude,
Davis
look
ID
back
photo.
yeah, where I look like a suspect. Let's put it that way. So.
You've always
I
looked
look
like
like
a
a-
suspect.
Where I look like a suspect of the same thing Zeb was accused of. Okay, so.
Dude.
Dude.
Yeah, a terrorist in Chechnya, okay?
Yeah.
A
I
Chechnyan
can do that look too.
terrorist.
I just need to grow my beard out. That's what I look like. I mean, legit. If I grow my beard out and I shave the mustache, I look like a fucking Chechen terrorist. Like it's not even false.
Maybe you should dress up like
What I
that for
look like.
Halloween.
Maybe I should. I think it'd be kind of funny. So.
You should do a prank on your parents to say that you converted to Islam.
You're moving to Bosnia.
You're moving to Bosnia.
Oh god, bro.
Yeah.
That's
And
kind of
you
foul. I'm
no,
not gonna lie.
you can stick with the prank. Like you do the prayers like every I think it's like what 6 prayers a day.
Fucking
Over like,
hell,
oh
man.
mom, is this chicken halal?
Oh, which way is Mecca?
Yeah, we're just trying to smack it.
Point me in the direction of Mecca.
Which way is Mecca?
Point me to Mecca right now.
You could like pray. You could pray towards Mecca like while they're watching Fox News. And it's like the Fox News is gonna be like screaming about like I don't know like some sort of like terrorist attack in Israel.
Oh god.
You're like, Mom and Dad, I want to go to Lebanon. For no
Yeah, built like the
reason."
bomber. Goddamn.
You and a bomber.
Obadiah.
If I get declined from these next 3, I'm just gonna do LFR.
Cameron, can you grow facial hair? Like, how is your facial hair when you grow? Is it like mine, or it's kind of like not there?
It doesn't like connect really.
Or yeah, it's kind of splotchy.
Like on the edges or whatever.
Ooh.
Like near the chin.
The chinny chin chin.
Like the sideburns and like the chin don't connect really.
No, I get it, but if you like, let's say you grow your chin, is it like very like? Because mine's like a wire-haired dog, like that's like half naked. Is it like that, or is it like full?
Can be full.
Oh.
Okay. There, we're signed up for 3. Go crazy.
So stuff. Have you joined the guild?
Have I joined the what?
The guild.
The what? Oh no, they didn't add me. I think the guy I tried to get a hold of went missing in Zeb's guild.
I don't.
Are you
Who
in the
did you
Yahoo?
try and add through?
I can't remember his name, but there was some posts from ages ago for your guild's name about like recruiting people, and this was the guy who made it. Oh, he added me.
Oh no.
I should ask him if he's still he's still in the guild.
What's his name on Battle.net?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I'm just gonna
Hoff
report him for fish.
Hoff 1755. HOFF. Hashtag 1755.
Fuck. Hoff?
Yeah, Hoff.
Hoff.
HOFF. 1755.
Wrong guild.
Well, it was for the illegal. What was it? Danish?
Legal
Yeah, that was the one.
Danish.
Here, wait, Zeb, I can send you the post. Let me find it. Illegal Danish WoW Guild recruiting.
I wonder how
it's a
long
WoW
ago it
guild, or
was.
it's a Diablo guild.
Is this him?
Wild Gold.
I think it's the one.
Wait, Steph's been playing WoW?
No,
No,
it's-
he's
okay, it's a long
literally
story.
just trying to
It's
fucking.
a long story.
It was to harass Zeb. There's Zeb. You see it? You can check that.
Let's take
That
a
should
look
be the
here.
one.
Oh my god, wait, it's on the WoW forums.
So does your
Yeah.
character level 80?
No, I don't have a WoW character. Okay. The whole
He just
point
he
was-
just wants to join the
The whole
guild.
point is that we basically Zeb had a rough day yesterday, and we were
Oh,
fucking
no.
with him.
This
And
is
then he
wrong.
had a rougher day, so he like he left and went to join the WoW Discord or whatever for his guildies. But then they were doing the exact same thing we did to him because they were just harassing him and making fun of him the whole time too, which Cameron and I thought was fucking hilarious. And then Cameron and I thought it would be so funny if I like went in and just joined the Discord like while Zeb was in there talking to his guildies like, "Hey guys, I'm kind of new to WoW. I really hope you can show me the ropes." So I was trying to figure out how I could like get into the guild. To
Is this even the right server though?
No,
for
it's not the right
post?
server, and it's from 2019.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the only thing I could find, dude. I couldn't find anything else. There's a list of like all of you, but it's only your WoW names. It's not your BattleNet names. So I found all your WoW names, Zeb, but I couldn't find your BattleNet names.
Yeah,
So
that
that's what I
information
gave up.
is, I believe it's public. Like, I think you can look up any guild, and it'll like show who's.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you can look up character names. Like, if you looked up my
What I-
character name, you could see all my achievements.
I
and
guess
shit.
I guess the one thing I could have tried, Zeb, is I could have tried looking into any of your guildies were also streamers, and then tried to get to them from there. I guess
You can.
That would have been the only
I
chance.
want to say the 3 people in charge of the guild stream as well, but not as much
You-
as I do.
You probably shouldn't be telling me this information.
I know.
Stainless steel looks really
It's okay,
I know.
Steph. If I have a bad enough day, I will unleash the warheads.
The warheads. Yeah, dude. If you ever have a rough enough day, and they're also making fun of you. You just gotta invite me in. we'll have the clash. Okay, the clash of the tism. Who will come out standing, Zeb?
I need
And who will come out sucking?
I need some emotional support after yesterday. Okay.
So what even happened, bro? You mental coom.
I
It wasn't
mental
even a mental
booms.
boom.
I
it
don't
was a
know.
mental
I was
boom.
really tired from work. You and Cam just pissed me off. My guild pissed me off. I did not want to fucking talk to anyone. I barely wanted to play anything. I was miserable.
Oh god. Oh god. I don't even know what Cameron and I were doing exactly. We were just saying something retarded. And then
Middle-aged man comes home from his job to unwind and play video games.
Cameron and I were saying something retarded, but I honestly don't know what it was, bro.
It was just fucking irritating. You were actually just being fucking irritating.
Zeb comes over his 12-hour shift trying to enjoy his time.
Irritating, you mean classy. Cameron and I are just classy.
No,
people.
I mean wholeheartedly irritating. Like worse than the fucking sped kid.
I think you mean that we were just classy. Cameron and I are just really classy. We were having a classy discussion, and you were just trying to focus too hard.
Goodbye, Steph. Where the fuck did Zach go?
I knew it was coming. Okay, wait, where did it? Oh, did he just leave at the same time?
I think he
You
left
kidding
at
me?
the same time. It's funny.
You kidding me?
What, were you gonna play something with Zach? Were you gonna play with his balls?
No, I was cooking up Dabble builds.
Oh.
Because I did some earlier in the day, and I was doing it again because I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know,
like.
if I can like convince myself that I can hit 100 in like 5 sittings, maybe I'll play it. But I have other things I want to play.
Yeah, I mean you don't have to, bro. I was just like trying to figure out what kind of new stuff there is, and there seems to be some pretty interesting stuff that I want to try.
I've definitely heard about the new interesting stuff.
I made
but
some druid builds. I'm making a necro build, and I'm trying to make a sork build or two based on doing some weird things with TP. Because you can now use TP to proc a lot of really weird effects and make builds based on
Steph.
scaling them in different ways. Oh, what's up?
I had a really cool idea for a shaman.
In the game?
Yeah. So, a talent point, right? You unlock the talent point, and it gives you a. It replaces your back slot on your character with a totem. It is just a totem, and it starts off with only 2 slots. And you can put more points into it to unlock more slots on the totem. But what you do is you put like a shock of some kind, like a earth shock, fire shock, ice shock, lightning shock. You slot those into the spots on the totem, and it's like a passive buff to every auto attack, or like every swing. So like if from top to bottom, if it's fire shock, ice shock,
Well, it's basically like I think there's a thing in PoE called an aura bot or something. So you're basically describing an aura bot, right? Where you have this thing following you around with a bunch of auras to keep you buffed, and you like customize the auras and stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, but like it rotates based on like your swing. So if you have a 5-slot totem, or let's go with 3. If you have a 3-slot totem and slot 1 is fire, slot 2 is ice, slot 3 is lightning, then you on swing 1 you inflict like a small fire damage, on swing 2 you inflict a small ice damage, and then on swing 3 you'd inflict a small lightning damage, and then you'd return to the first, like with your 4th swing it would be the first proc again. And it would be small enough that it's not a huge DPS gain, but there could be like interesting interactions with like depending on the order that you put it in, and if there's interactions like if you burn something that's frozen, or if you freeze something that's burning, or if you shock something that's wet, you know, those kind of interactions.
Yeah.
It could be interesting to try and like set up like a proc chain just on your fists.
True. No,
I thought this was very cool when I came up with it today at work.
I mean, I described it to you. I went kind of autism mode.
Oh, I didn't read that yet. Shit.
Basically, what happened is Elvis woke me. Well, I hadn't fallen asleep, but he got me to go downstairs at like 2 in the morning, like 2 nights ago. It happened again yesterday, but I managed to sleep. And I let him out, and I just could not fall asleep afterwards because I started thinking about like theoreticals. You know what I mean? And then I had this whole. Basically, to sum it up briefly, my whole idea was that like the whole gearing system, right? All your skills are based on the gear, and so like base, you can have like base gear, like maybe fire and ice staffs or something, and like a sword and a shield that have base skills, and you combined different pieces of gear to upgrade the gear's tier and create new spells. And you can combine like the same pieces of gear to create like an upgraded fireball or something, and that's your spell. Or you combine like a sword and a fireball, and you get like a flaming sword strike or something like that. And so your actual spells are based entirely off of your gear, and like the spells you have access to are based on the gear you have equipped. And then like every piece of gear rolls with a stat that customizes how the spell is equipped to works. And when you're combining gear, you then put both of those stats onto the new spell that you're creating. So maybe like a base fire staff that casts fireball rolls like fireball size, and you get a base sword or something. Okay, that, you know, that does some slashing move. I don't really know what off the top of my head. And maybe it has like, let's say, longer, or maybe just a it swings really fast. It has like a really fast animation is what it comes with, and you combine the two and you get this really fast animation fire sword that has extra size thing. That's and cool. You keep adding to that for X amount of tiers to make whatever your finalized skill is. And in a way, you can kind of create a shit tons of combinations of different skills out of a sort of simplistic original system where you just start with a bunch of basic weapons, but as players play through the game and they combine different weapons, and at higher tiers you can drop higher tier weapons too, obviously, so like already combined weapons, and then add to those as well. You end up getting a lot of weird customization, and then that is kind of, it's almost like a reverse from a lot of RPGs because your spells are literally the gear. So if you unequip your staff, you might not have that spell anymore until you find another way to set it up. And then a big part of the game, like, you know, the whole mirror thing in PoE, a big part of the game is that maybe mirrors would be more common. So if you need to like customize gear, you could mirror your item and then try to like gear up the copy to see if it rolled on the stats that you needed to upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I dig it. That sounds. It sounds interesting. It sounds like it'd be easy to kind of like brick a character if you sold your gear or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you like really ran it down, I guess, and sold all your shit, you could get fucked.
Yeah, if you just like vendored like all your good gear, like you could totally fuck yourself. But that'd be funny, honestly.
It would be kind of funny if someone did that. I'm not gonna lie. But
get like a GM message that's like, I sold all my good items. I'm stuck.
Yeah. The other like part of the idea was that basically the whole leveling system, and this was honestly the more interesting part, was because the other part I could see having issues for sure, especially because like, okay, how many times can you really go past the first tier? Because at some point you just get a ridiculous amount of combinations, right? And a ridiculous amount of skills you have to create for players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's say you have even just 5 tiers of weapons, and you're starting with like 5 different weapon types with 5 base skills. If you combine those, you have to create a combination of all those for the first tier, including with themselves. Then again, with all of those, with those unique ones, plus with all the original ones for the third tier, so on and so forth. It gets ridiculous really fast, right?
Yeah.
In theory, if you were doing that. I mean, maybe you would just make it so not everything combined at some point. Maybe that's how you would do it.
Or even then, you could make it like really simple combinations.
True,
like,
but then it kind of removes the flavor of the original idea, right? Like if you limit the combinations a bunch, then it's
Or
like
you
why
can make
do
it a
this?
selling point that there are so many combinations. I mean, Carson, I don't know if Carson's here, but one of the taglines for Borderlands 2 was that it has like some like millions of guns, like actually millions of combinations of guns that you can pick up.
Yeah. But I mean that was kind of, I thought that would be interesting to a lot of PoE type and
POP.
players, like a shit ton of customization, but in a different way than what PoE offers, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I really got into this whole idea of how about the whole skill tree. Okay, maybe the first 10 levels are somewhat simplistic. First 10 or 20 levels, right? Just to like get people into the game. You can do some simple leveling stuff.
Run.
But then the game opens up a shit ton. Think of the leveling almost like, so you've played roguelikes where
Yeah.
you path through like a labyrinth and when you're going to the next stage, and sometimes there's like, you can go left or right, and you can't backtrack really. Like you make a decision, you commit to going that path. And
Yeah, the
there's
inscription map.
the whole idea of this tree would be like, you literally, when you level up, you literally see your character walking through this map, this huge fucking like PoE size fucking atlas. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe bigger. You have to create the pathways for them to get to the links. Like we've talked about that whole theory. You like can put in pathways. Everyone starts with being able to just put basic attribute pathways. Think D4. But what you can do is you can customize them. You can craft onto the pathways. You can alter how they work and alter how your build works. Obviously, this is putting a huge amount of power in it, so you have to really be careful how you balance the game. Like you have to probably nerf the character's base power and the base mob power a lot, because it's going to scale really aggressively if people get to craft every single slot in like 100 levels as they, work their way through the game. But then you add like a whole interesting tier of the game where people are crafting onto the way through. Like the idea of backtracking would be, okay, people can respecs aren't like super readily available, but they're definitely farmable. And let's say you get free respecs until like level 50 or something, and then at that point you're expected to farm these respec points. Kind of like how PoE works, but a bit simpler.
A really simple way to do that is the way Classic WoW does respecs is it costs the cost doubles every respec until it caps out at 50G, which is a lot of gold for Classic, but it's totally farmable.
Yeah. I mean something like that. You know what I mean? And then the idea would be that, so let's say you get to a point where you're playing your build and you're like, oh, I want to go back and get this thing. You have to literally take your character back. Okay, and this may be a pain in the ass, so you might have to rethink this, right? But like, think you're going back in a roguelike lab, and then you could like use certain options. Maybe you could craft a certain tool that lets your character go down both ways. So like, you can craft specific tools to do different things as you traverse this whole map to get all your skill points. Like maybe you could even craft a teleporter to put in a certain slot. Like maybe there's open slots on the map, right? And you craft a teleporting thing, and you teleport across the fucking map. So you start in like the warrior pool as a warrior class, and you teleport to the fucking sorc class to pick up certain nodes, and then TP back to keep going down the warrior path. And then the idea is everyone starts on the outside of this map, and everyone works their way in. And at the center of the map, there's like some buff thing that gives you a certain buff based on what % of the time you stayed in each class. Like, because like if you start on the outside and go in, each class will sort of have a cone. Let's say it's a circle, right? Each class will have a cone, effectively, of nodes that coincide with that class. I guess that started within that class's original area. And so the more time you spend in each class, or the different amounts of time you spend in each class, the different sort of buff you get when you get to the very middle and pick up whatever that node is. That was kind of the idea. You like can customize additionally your character by like planning out how many nodes you're taking in each area to get a certain buff when you get to the middle of the whole thing. That's kind of a weird idea.
Actually, I want to run something past you, because I think it's a cool idea, but it could just be stupid.
Yeah.
So, so class gunman, subclass hunter, right? If you wanted the hunter to feel more like freed, because like every hunter is just gonna have a hunter pet, sorry. I forgot how to do this raid mechanic. What was I saying? A hunter pet?
Hunter something free.
Tree. So what do you think about the idea of having a node somewhere in the hunter tree? So, have all the different schools of magic for that class on one big tree, like a circle, and then have a node that says you may collect any other beginning like pet node. Like every hunter tree would start with like learn pet attunement, you may select any other pet attunement and take that tree as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really like stuff like that personally.
Like
I like
it's like a
ability
portal across the map, like a
I like the
portal
ability
across
to
the
not
tree.
steal every ability, but I like the ability to steal certain abilities that are planned out and balanced so that like all of them are reasonable picks. You know what I mean? All of them have a build around them. One thing I don't like when that kind of idea comes into play is I've learned about this, right? Think of games like D2. I know you haven't really played it, but I've watched a bit about like how it works. And basically everyone gets TP on their builds because either you're playing a class, you know, the mage, whatever, that has TP initially, or you pick up this rune word that gives you TP. Every class does it. It's just too homogenistic, you know what I mean? So when you have something that broken that's available to every class, I think it's bad design. But when it's not so broken and like the actual things you have to choose from, you probably have to limit the pool a bit, which is why it's good that you're just doing it for pets, for example.
Well, it would
right?
be
So
like you'd start on like the high end of like a different pet tree, and you could take like stuff in the other pet tree, but it would restrict you from taking stuff like across the map that is like a rogue subclass of the gunman, you know?
Yeah, I've also really fallen in love with like how customizable some things about PoE are, like automating your skills. I really like the way that like later in the game you can like mod certain gems, put them on different combinations of skills to like automate them in different ways if you're able to solve a lot of issues, like having enough mana and stuff like that. And specifically, you have to have like mana cost reduction stats in order to be able to reserve all the mana necessary to have these skills running. That's how it works in PoE. And I really ended up liking that idea, how it works.
So I've been trying to stay away from button bloat in my project, and how do you feel about things in a skill tree where it is simply like, okay, the last shot in every clip will have this effect on it no matter what?
I don't dislike that. I like the whole idea of like League mechanics actually, where like the third hit procs something. You know how that works in League. Like a lot of League champions have that triple auto, and you get something. I like that. I think that's actually good design.
The fun thing that I was thinking about this was,
and you can customize that third thing. You know what I mean? You can customize what that proc does, in theory.
Target you.
One of the things that I thought was really cool about, wait a minute, about the thing I'm talking about, where like the last shot in like a grouping of 6, right?
Is that gonna kill you, or what's going on?
I don't know. It's actually been months since I've done this raid, so I have no fucking clue.
Kind of stuck there. What is going on here?
It's got a root on it. At least this warrior's coming to help me out. There we go. Okay, let me think on what I was saying again.
Okay.
Okay, so the final shot in every clip, has a certain effect. Now, I feel like it would be really fun to try and abuse that mechanic as like a player, and just try and get a gun that only shoots 1 bullet per clip.
No, yeah, like I agree. I think that stuff like that is
like
cool.
have like a fucking flintlock where you have to reload it after every shot, but since you're constantly procking that.
Obviously, the cost is your attack speed's a lot lower because you're having to reload, so that's, you know, the cost benefit. Now, if you like maybe set up a one-shot mechanic, so you nuke a lot of things, but you have a slow attacks. That's the same idea as like something like a flow spell that hits really hard. It's the same idea, it just does it differently and in a way that looks cool to players. So I think it's a good idea. I think anything where you can like mimic a good ability, a generically enjoyed ability, but make it more interesting to players is a good system. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to like change how the game works entirely, but you need to recolor it in an interesting way. And so like putting it behind, you know, this mechanic where you have your last bullet do something special, and then you have certain guns that only have 1 bullet is interesting, right? A player will see that and be like, oh my god, I have this crazy cool idea.
Well, the thing is, like getting a one-shot would seem like a really bad roll until you start thinking like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like
my point. Like a player sees that and they're like, ooh, I have a crazy idea, bro. Let's try this.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
That's good for the game.
Like, interactions like that, I think, are the most fun when it comes to games like that.
That's what I've been talking about regularly when we do talk about this. Basically, though, I will say, with this whole skill thing, I'm not sold on any idea other than I kind of like the idea of when you're pathing through your skill tree, you literally see your character and you build these, like, blocks for your character to move through the skill tree and pick up nodes. And that you can, like, craft onto those blocks. That base idea, I like a lot.
How do you feel about a game where you not only put, like, every level you get a skill point for a skill tree, but also every level you get a point to level your stats?
I mean, that's fine. There's a lot of games that do similar stuff for that.
Okay.
The core idea of that would be you then limit gear behind attributes. So certain gear maybe can't be used at the very beginning of the game unless you have super
like have stat
gear.
checks.
Yeah, unless you have like kind of, again, this is similar to PoE but a bit different because PoE doesn't give you like attributes per level or whatever. But like think Well, they kind of do, I guess, because as you pad through your skill tree, you end up picking.
Yeah,
up
the thing about the PoE skill tree is the level bonuses are, or sorry, the
But
stat bonuses are built into the overall skill tree.
My thing kind of was like, my idea kind of combines that in a way though. Like if you did go with this whole labyrinth idea, like as you build those bridges, you pick up stats, especially in the start of the game, because every starter piece to get to the new nodes is just a stat piece. You know, like you have, let's say you just start with 3 attributes, dex, in strength or whatever, and every piece is one of those. You get like +5, +5, +5, and then later on you can craft onto them. Oh, but all your dex nodes also give you, I don't know, 0.1 crit. You know what I mean? And you have 50 of them, and that ends up being pretty valuable at that point, right? You get 5% crit or whatever. That was my logic, you know, because it combines kind of, you pick up attributes as you level, but you also can customize it a little more later.
I dig it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think it's also a way to kind of balance the different points of the game.
Well, the thing I always thought was kind of lame about WoW, and I love WoW, but like, specifically Classic WoW, Retail WoW has the same issue because it's built off the same skeleton. But both games, you just get the stats that the game says you need.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, if you're leveling a warrior, you're gonna automatically get strength stats, and you're gonna get the same strength stats every level.
Oh, you mean like you don't choose? Okay.
There is no, the only agency you have is by including stats,
Well,
like on
I
gear.
just think that's a thing that happens with a lot of MMOs, because in the end of the day, MMO design is not. It's not meant for you to be able to customize the shit out of your classes in any of them.
See,
the whole
okay.
flavor of the MMO is exploring the world with a group of people. And everything else is built around that, and they don't put too much time into all these other things.
See,
it's really hard. It's a lot of work.
I think that is the modern MMO approach. I think the old school WoW MMO approach is very D&D adjacent, which I think would greatly benefit from that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like the cool thing about Classic is that it's like really an analog for D&D.
Sure. Maybe I don't know. I just like. I think it's interesting to keep brainstorming random stuff, and who knows, maybe we brainstorm something that sounds interesting enough.
Dude,
that we have to make
I
it.
really like the idea of like a talent point that sacrifices a slot of your gear for constant buffs.
Well, just generally, I like the idea. Okay, think PoE, right? And how you like put your spells into your gear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of like being able to also take some of those spell slots, and like you basically said, you put a null slot or something. You sack the slot, and then you get a buff for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you lose a spell. You lose a spell or a spell aura. So it's a big trade-off. You know, it's kind of in tandem to what you're talking about. I like that. I don't know. It's just more weird customization angles are interesting that aren't like super convoluted either. Like it's not super it's obvious what it does. You know what I mean? You either put a spell here and you get an extra spell, or you don't put anything here and you get a buff. It's not complicated, but it adds a lot to your game because it actually adds a lot of new variation to builds without being super complex. So, I don't know.
I also like the idea of like, if you take a skill point, you are now allowed to take like spells or abilities that have a certain word in them, right? Like I don't know, if you take this node, you can take spells that have like the term rogue or I don't know, shadow in them or some shit. Like
I just think rather than that, I think it's interesting to just balance a lot of the buffs. Okay, you know, like something gives you like plus projectiles or plus size, right? But like a lot of games do that for just only a specific skill. You know what I mean? I think it's more interesting when you like balance it around spell tags. Like let's say you were saying, kind of, you have a cluster of whatchamacallit, rogue spells. Like, that are tagged under rogue, and then there's certain things that buff only rogue spells that you can pick up. Like I think it's cool. And then the ability to also customize. Like you have certain spells that you can like change the skill tags on.
Oh my god.
Also makes it interesting. Or add skill tags too. Are you getting fucked up by this guy or what?
No. I'm not getting fucked up. I had an idea. It's gone. I need to think for a second.
He's done. Video game create PG poo poo. I think. Does that help?
No.
Damn. I tried.
No, okay. Having a thing in the skill tree that literally changes your like, okay, warrior skill tree. Have something in it that literally just makes you bigger, right? And have that big size affect like things like a whirlwind build.
Yeah, of course. Like just fluff the size type things, and then like they can also influence by your character size, and you have a maybe rather than your character always having a big size, because then it looks a bit retarded in towns when you're like too big.
See,
You
I
can,
would
like,
love
pop
to
them
take a
up.
giant and then take like 3 stacks of plus size and just get big.
Oh, I would love that too,
Please
but then it like
change.
ruins other players. That's the problem is you have to consider other players' experience. If you have this big ass player sitting in a town standing in front of the quest givers, it's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem. But you could like have you could like have a skill that maybe when you're fighting something like for a tank, you get big as fuck or something like that. I don't know. I don't know
While
how
in
big you can
combat
literally
gain
let
like
them
gain 200% size.
Or maybe stacking size.
Stacking
While
size.
while in
For every,
combat,
like,
you could.
oh, actually, I was thinking of a system where it's partially taken from WoW because it's how like classic like combat works when you're doing like late game raids. But a thing where if you're fighting an enemy that's like X levels over you, you receive crushing blows where they're just like
Special
like
coming.
non-blockable, non-stoppable, just huge fucking attacks to deter you from
100%.
doing stuff out of your class.
But they could still be beatable if you like.
Yes.
Do things if you're the goat. But yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, I actually kind of like the idea of like, okay, when you're in combat, you can stack up this buff that makes you big as fuck, and in doing so, you maybe become slower, but you hit harder, and you get a shit ton more range. And so you stack this thing up. The whole gimmick of the build is you have to figure out a way to number 1 stack it up, number 2 maintain your stacks, and number 3 not suffer too much remove and speed penalty, so you still farm efficiently. It gets big enough that you're, let's say your whirlwind's hitting the whole screen, and you create a build that's based on stacking quickly and then zooming around and farming the whole
Dude,
screen.
actually, it would be so cool to have like a different icon in the skill tree for like cursed skills that are better than normal, not skills, but like the talents or whatever you want to call it. Where it's a better
Please
talent,
change.
but it is sorry, it's a better talent, but it's
Comes with a cost, or what do you mean?
yeah, it comes with the cost. Thank you.
Target you.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Special
just the whole
coming.
skill tag thing, right? That's just, you make a skill tag for cursed skills, and you have certain things that affect only cursed skills that can maybe, like, diminish the negative of cursed skills or improve the buff that the cursed skill gives. Kind of interesting.
Watch your
The whole
step.
kiss curse mechanic. Some people don't like kiss curse mechanics. I think they're interesting when
Just
done
don't
right.
use
And-
them then.
Yeah, I think they're interesting when done right, and I was gonna say, when you have enough options that you don't need to use them. I think some
Like, if
games
you-
they can be an issue when like that's every build relies on some kiss
Special
curse
coming.
mechanic, and some people just don't want it. Don't want to.
Some of my favorite items in
I agree with you.
in specifically Nuclear Throne are the cursed weapons. The cursed weapons are really cool.
I've told you before that my whole idea is that like I like gear that comes with some negative that you can then use to turn into a positive. I like
Damn,
the
I
whole
should've
thematic
fucked.
of like you get a big buff, a big bonus, but you get a big negative, and you have to solve that negative, and you could perhaps even turn that negative into a positive based on what you do.
Yeah.
I really like mechanics like that. Again, it's an interesting way to add more variation and more dynamics to more simple systems. Or should I rephrase, the systems that originally seem simple? Like originally it's just, oh, I get a buff and then I'm weaker, and then someone sees like, oh wait, but I could get rid of the negative with this, and then someone else sees, oh wait, but I could turn the negative into a positive if I go out of my way to do
Exactly.
that.
No, I think the way you worded it of like skill tags is really cool though. Like have a like if you have skills that are in every color, like every school of magic, but they're all tagged as shaman, so you can technically have like a 6 color like class, but it's still
Yeah.
like mainly the main color, like the starting color.
Yeah. I think more games should use things like skill tags, to be honest.
I like that.
Oh,
That is like the system I was thinking of, but I didn't know what to call it. Skill tag is a
Well,
wonderful term.
It's why I liked Spiritborn a lot when they showed it in D4. Because D4 seems to be a class focused heavily on skill tags and manipulating skill tags to do things. There's a whole system of the class, right? That you pick a specific like spirit god or whatever to follow, and that changes every skill tag on your build to follow that spirit god. And then you can pick passives, and I assume Paragon points, and gear, like gear enchantments based on the skill tag you have. And there's like, you can even, I think you can get a minor skill tag, like a minor tree to get a minor buff that can also change your skill tags. So you could have skills with Spiritborn that are like triple, like you could have a gorilla skill, but you could be following Centipede and Jaguar, right, as a minor thing with the unique helmet, and you have a gorilla Centipede Jaguar skill. that gets buffs from everything that buffs Gorilla skills, Centipede skills, and Jaguar skills.
Hey, I'll stand
I
by
think
it.
that's just a cool system. It's why I liked the Spearboard a lot when I saw it.
I'll stand by it. My favorite racial that I came up with for this stupid fucking game is the orc racial. The fucking, like, the more orcs you have in your party, the more damage everyone does.
Maybe also the more damage they take. I think that'd be based.
Oh, that'd be based. I just have, like, a warband just hulking the fuck out.
Not a huge amount, right? Like, not a huge...
No, it's not a
huge
ludicrous amount. Like, all the racial passives are really small percentages, but, like...
Yeah, it shouldn't be anything big.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't warp meta, you know, it's kind of...
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You don't want the
shouldn't
meta to be
feel
to
like
have
you
10
must
orcs,
play
you know?
10 orcs. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, just a nice little
That's the name of my new band, 10 Orcs.
Yeah, how about 10 Horks?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You should talk about my Hork, big man.
Whoa.
I'm gonna show you my pork, if you know what I'm saying.
No, not the pork.
I'll show your Hork my pork. Dude, what the hell?
Dude, stop. No,
Put
no.
a hork in your pork. Dude,
Stop horking your porkin.
pork on my Hork.
Wait, I forgot to talk to this idiot.
Oh fuck yeah, I was gonna play some PoE and turn the stream on tonight, and then I just didn't hop on until super late. I got tired.
Oh, this is the other wing of the raid. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like right now. I just want to get a fucking job. That's my number one priority. I'm not really thinking about doing too much else on the side. Like I'm just applying to jobs. Once I have a job, I think I'm really gonna go back to studying some UE and doing some other things on the side. I know 100% Zeb that I'm gonna go back to school at some point. I just need to figure out exactly what I want to study.
Hey, I've told you already. I'm going back to school for 2 things: game dev and history.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to school for something and then maybe do some game dev, like I said. And then if nothing else, I'll do the game dev thing on the side. Because at this point, I'm 100% committed. Even if it's a piece of shit, I want to make an ARPG. I just want to do it. You know what I mean? I want to make it not even just an RPG, something where I create my own unique, like, you know, mechanics and systems and customizations. I just want to do that at some point. So.
Nah, man, I want to make the Diablo killer.
True. You know, Diablo and WoW killer combination.
Yeah, the combination killer, the Blizzard killer.
I think like the way you have to look at it, right, is instead of worrying about art and stuff, make some very simple art.
Exactly. Make something incredibly stinky and just have the gameplay.
And not even just the gameplay, just like to build around 1, maybe 2 classes at most, and build a prototype around that. You know what I mean?
That's what I've been doing. I've been really fleshing out like 1 class in specific that I like.
Like
yeah.
1 mage, like maybe 1 range spellcasting class and 1 like melee class. You know what I mean? For testers to try, and flesh out like how those classes interact with a couple simple mobs. Maybe make like 2 maps. You know what I mean? Make a sort of simple starting area and like 2 zones for them to test in. And you just flesh out the systems interestingly enough that people enjoy testing the different builds.
I thought a really fun way to test would be to make like just like a peer-to-peer setup and force people to try like PvP with the game. Like even if PvP isn't the focus, just see how fun it is to fuck with other people.
Sure. I was thinking that like I think the best way to like really make a testing environment when you're on a budget, like and a budget time-wise and everything, like we are, you know what I mean, skill-wise, everything, is just make a very minimal maps, but use our understanding and hopeful understanding of making interesting mechanics to create a highly mechanically developed.
Well, even then, you don't need good art to have an interesting map. You can have an interesting map that's just geometry.
Well, I know. I'm not talking about art whatsoever. Just make like 2 simple maps, sort of, and make them super, or you know, however many you choose. And the whole idea is to make them super replayable by adding tons of build variation. Because at the end of the day, the way we're talking about it, that's how we want to sell our thing. We want to. The idea of selling this game is that it has very interesting build mechanics and build variation, whatever.
One thing
and
that I think
eventually also has very interesting lore and very interesting map design and whatever. But I think the initial way to get a hold of someone, like to get, okay, let's say for fuck's sake, you wanted to get Asmongold to invest into your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way to initially get his attention is you make some really interesting specialization and really interesting gameplay that he's interested in, and then he says, okay, you know what? I'll fund you a bit. Make a fleshed out map and I'll try it again. And then you make a good looking map that catches his attention with the same mechanics, and he's like, all right, I'm supporting your stupid idea, you know? That was the idea. That was the logic I went through, I guess. I'm thinking about it. So what is this raid anyways? I don't know anything.
It's the final raid of Dragonflight. I don't know. It's some guy wants to fucking like poop on the world or some shit.
Is it this guy or?
Nah, I already killed the guy who wants to poop on the world. I killed him like yesterday. The way LFR works is the raid is broken up into 4 sub raids, so you don't have people that don't want to be fucking together trying to beat the whole thing. And you know, I only play LFR because my guild does not do current rating.
True.
I mean, I could probably get into a normal. I feel like, nah, I'm not gonna say that. I feel like my damage is like half decent considering I'm completely under-geared. Like, I haven't played this character since like 2 seasons ago, and I wasn't geared then either. So I'm extremely, like, my numbers are just bad. No, actually, one of the things that I thought would be like a good way to, Jesus fucking Christ. A good way to keep people engaged, like a lot of people that would like play MMOs won't play ARPGs because of seasonal resets, would be at the end of a season give the option to prestige a character, where if you have a character at max level, just take the same character into the next season, but like get rid of everything.
I need to get closer. I'm out of range.
Hello?
Wait, what you mean? And then you just like have a star marking, so like.
Yeah,
if
like
someone
have
played
like
30
some
seasons-
kind of like
So
denotion
if
on
someone
their
played
account.
like 20 seasons straight with the same character, everyone could tell.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
shit,
make
they
it.
played multiple
Yeah.
seasons. But maybe you only give them the star if they got the max level.
Yes. No,
They
you know,
don't get it
absolutely
as
yes. If you want to prestige your character, you should have to get to max level.
Either a max level or some like boss that they have to beat. One of the two.
Capstone
some boss that
some,
requires
like
you- or
Lilith
some
or some
requ-
shit.
Yeah, some boss that requires you to be strong enough that you're basically at the end. You know, you've basically beaten the game anyways. So, one of the two. And if you've done this every single season, you get
Watch your
whatever.
step.
You get the prestige. I think maybe it should just be level just so everyone can get it if you have the time. Which I think is reasonable. Where it's just like a time-based grind. I think people, prestige-wise, tend to prefer those kinds of time-based systems. Where like as long as you get to that level, you will get it.
Yeah.
Maybe they also like PoE does this thing, I guess, where like if you finish all the achievements in a season,
Watch
as
your
I've learned,
step.
you get something that you can put in your hideout, and every time you get a new one, it upgrades how they look. Like if you've done every single one, they look kind of crazy apparently, and you have like 30 of them or
That's
some
cool.
shit.
I like that.
I think that's kinda cool.
You know me,
But I think it'd be
I'm
even
one of those
cooler-
people that absolutely loves like visual progression. Like I want someone
Oh, I
to
agree.
look at me and be able to know
Watch
like,
your
wow,
step.
that guy's fucking cool. He
I agree.
poops
I
in
think
his
it's one of
sock.
the one of the flaws of D4 for me is that there's not enough gear progression. You know,
Well,
like,
all
you
of
don't look-
the
That's so.
flashiest equipment is just like bought with money, and that's the same problem with WoW.
But that's my point. You don't look significantly more badass as you level. Like I don't care if you start looking like an absolute stinker, but I think okay, let's say from stinker to maybe level 50, you should start looking a bit more like a fleshed out warrior. When you get to level 100, maybe you start looking like a crazy ARPG sicko mode badass that you are. You know, you got some like I don't know, holy ass. Depending on your build, right? Maybe you have some fucking aura or some shit always going on. You have some cool looking gear and whatever.
Dude, I'm
just
playing
think-
with someone from mainland China.
Obviously, then you also add. I mean, the reason they don't do that, right, is they want to sell you the games. I mean, PoE and D4 both do exactly that. PoE also makes you look like a complete
Watch your
shitter,
step.
so they can sell you the skins, which makes sense.
At the same
for both
time,
games. But
I know this is like you'd like scare away investors by saying this, but like skins don't need to cost $20. They don't cost nearly that much to create, and
Yeah, they can just cost
you
like
could
$5.
you could recoup your fucking cost of creation with like selling it for like $3 instead of fucking 20.
just make them like $5 and then make a rotating sale, kind of like the Valorant black market, where you get you can randomly get
That's actually good. Like, don't get me wrong, the Valorant like black market is like a total FOMO strat, but it's not. It doesn't feel as bad as other FOMO strats.
It doesn't feel as bad, yeah. It's just kind of cool to like, okay, well, I want this specific skin. I'm just gonna wait till it rolls up on the black market to get it a little cheaper. I don't think Valorant's guns should initially cost $25, and then you wait on the black market. But hey, you know, you got some skin that costs $5, a reasonable price, and if they really wait for it on these random black market events, they can get it for less. I think that's cool. Maybe you could even like, you get this when the black market pops up. If you farmed enough in-game currency, you can pick a skin to put in it. Now that would be cool.
That would be cool. Being able to like stack your black market.
And then you put the skin to go on sale in your black market or whatever. That would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I dig that. I like that.
And like it doesn't mean you're giving free money. They're just picking the skin that they really want to put on sale. You know, yes, you're giving them something for free, but you know, you get my point. I think it's kind of cool.
Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. A class that usually only has like 5 mana, right? and a spell for that class, or okay. Shaman would be in the warrior tree. Warrior only really gets 4 mana to play with. A shaman's totem would typically cost like 3 to 4 mana to cast. It's pretty much all your mana. What do you think about a skill that like exhausts all your stamina and your mana to summon all known totem spells?
I mean, yeah, why not? You know, just something that makes you go all in.
Like it's like an alt, or like like an alt button.
Kind of, yeah.
That's kind of how I've been designing my like end of tree abilities. Is they are
I should note, I think if you have alts, again, this is something I do slightly disagree with how D4 plays. I think there should be a specific alt button that is only for alts. If you're
fair.
gonna play with like long cooldown big alts. So every class can equip an alt, and you don't feel punished that you took one and it has a long cooldown, and you also don't feel punished that you didn't take one because you wanted to take shorter cooldown abilities. And yes, maybe someone will say, "Oh, I wish I could have had one more slot for whatever ability," but you know, people will complain no matter what you do. I think if you have a pure alt button, that's kind of cool. You know, like you have like your 5 skill slots or whatever, and then you have one skill that's just your alt. Obviously, you can map it to whatever key you want. But
oh shit, they ass pulled. Fuck.
and maybe you even add maybe one of the seasons is about additional customization to your alt. Like you make a season called like super alts, where you add some weird mechanic for players to test out that does crazy shit specifically with that alt, whatever that alt is that you have in that slot. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually. So a season all about alts, basically.
Kind of base.
Season of the alts. And perhaps again, you could do that thing you talked about, where maybe one of the customization angles is you don't put an alt, and instead you trade it for a certain buff, and that's how you make an altless build. At the end of the day, players, as I've learned, tend to like the ability to customize themselves to have like 2 key builds. You know what I mean? Builds that are like they're pressing 2 buttons. They have a movement key, they have a attack key, and they have their fucking auras and whatever on, you know, on autopilot and shit. I have learned more and more about these systems, it seems. So, I'm not saying you shouldn't give them more keys inherently, but I think giving players the ability to like reduce their keys and trade them for different things, like reduce the keys needed to press and trade them for different values, or even automate them.
Well, I mean, one of the absolute
cool.
most overwhelming things about WoW is like, look at all these fucking buttons.
It's my that is my number one thing. My number one problem with retail.
I think
I didn't even get far enough in Classic for that to be an issue. But my number one problem with retail is like I just can't.
I really think
that,
every like intended class, because obviously players are going to find unintended classes, but every intended class should have like a simple rotation of maybe like 4 or 5 buttons tops.
Yeah.
You have like a generator, a spender, an auto.
I don't even think you need a generator.
Well, the way I built it, you don't need a generator, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
like
you
like
could
the
have.
the way Death Knight plays is you generate runes and you spend them.
I get what you mean, like, but yeah.
Watch
That's the
your
thing. I just think like every class should be built around. Every build should be built around the idea that they have a movement skill, they have a damage skill, they have a buff skill, offensively, and they have a defensive buff skill, and then maybe they have X skill that is something else. You know what I mean? And every original build is piloted around this idea, and then you allow them to customize exactly what that turns into. You know,
watch your step.
but you don't expect players to have like 5,000 different damage abilities. The players are going to want to focus on one ability to do their damage, especially in an RPG. You know, it's a bit different in like WoW, for example. In RPGs, people really like build around one skill, as you've probably noticed, or one thing. Maybe not one skill. Like maybe
I
you're
kind of
building
want
around
the.
all your minions.
Okay, this might sound like an absolutely retarded take, but I kind of want the builds to function more like, I guess, like Elden Ring builds, where like you have like these cool spells that you can whip out, but you can also just wail on shit.
Find shield.
Problem is, ARPG players tend to not like that. As I've realized, they want to play the game fast. That's the whole thing that that was the whole problem with D4 originally. You know, D4 was meant to be that kind of game, where it was slow and you're wailing on things with your auto, and then you pop your spell to burst it down after you build up your mana and stuff, and some of your cooldowns come up, and then your cooldowns go on a long cooldown. You wail on things a bit. Like it was meant to be the super slow paced game. Because that's what players complained about. Players said that they didn't like D3s, it was too fast-paced, they wanted something slow. That's what players said. And it turns out nobody wanted that game.
Well, no,
They
D2
built
players
the
wanted
game.
that game, and they had
No,
D2 already.
D2 players didn't want it either.
Well, no,
That's the problem.
they already had D2 though. Like that's.
I understand, but D2 players wanted to play actual D2. They didn't want to play anything else like D2. They only wanted to play D2. They wanted the whole nostalgia of D2. They don't actually care about a whole different game that's based off of similar combat to D2. Like, I get what you mean, but I'm just saying, like, for them, it's literally their nostalgia whores, you know?
Okay,
Nostalgia
I have
frogs,
another
whatever.
question.
They're not in it to make the game good. They're in it for the nostalgia.
How do you feel about quests, or sorry, skills, where when you unlock a skill, you must go on a quest to unlock the skill entirely?
Watch
Yeah, I think
your
that's
step.
perfectly fine. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Because that's one of the things I actually kind of liked about D4, was it kind of reminded me of classic WoW, where like when you got like a big skill, like you had to go on a quest to like go get your grimoire or like your druid forms.
It shouldn't be based on traditional skills, but like for class mechanics, I see no reason that shouldn't be a thing. It's like, remember that thing I talked about where you get this like scales that you could like sack a large amount of one stat for this large amount of another stat, and that would be locked behind a long quest. I'm not saying that would have to be in the game, but I'm saying I like the idea that like certain mechanics of power are based on progression. Like you have to actually get strong enough to beat a quest line to then unlock this new power mechanic to get stronger, to then progress in the story to get to the next one, so on and so forth. I guess the point is like you're getting more. First off, it creates a more interesting gameplay loop because you have to do more to get to the point that you get power, but then you also have to like scale your character enough in different tiers to then unlock the next grouping of power instead of just I get stronger, I pick up weapon, I get to endgame, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I get stronger for this content so that I can then get stronger to level enough to this content.
Honestly, like in any game that I would make, if I made a game, I would want the leveling to be part of it. I don't want you to just feel like you have to sprint to endgame.
Well, no, I agree. That's kind of why, I don't know, I think the leveling should not be designed to, like, obviously, it's possible, you know, some speedrunners will figure out ways to, you know, level in super fast.
Well, even then, I want the leveling to, like, I want you to be able to engage in the fun mechanics before your max level, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you pick what you're going after, and your leveling is defined by the mechanics you engage with, kind of like you're saying. The things you choose to build off of. And you don't start with everything, you know? You don't start with everything as an option. I'm not saying not just like in terms of gear and skills, obviously, but not with every mechanic being available either. You have to gradually unlock certain mechanics. And that changes how your build looks a lot from the start of the game to the end. Anyways, hang on, my dad's coming.
With the power of this seed, Amirdrasin will be defended. Firok will not succeed.
Wow. Do I have my bag? I do have my bag. Shit, I gotta go back to Dalaran. Probably gonna get rid of this and take the other one, wherever it is.
Time for you to listen to my fan. Oh,
Uh-oh, I'm sure you've been listening to my fan all night.
I haven't heard it at all, to be honest.
That's
Can
good.
you hear mine?
Nope.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I have noise suppression on. You won't hear it. We're good.
Very good. Yeah, I was hearing it when I was like streaming in the morning, so I turned the fan off, and I just hadn't turned it on till just now.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got in the fucking notebook.
Yeah, I'm taking the day off. That's not even working. But you know what I mean. Like, I'm not planning to work on Tuesday. I'm just gonna play before.
Based.
Kind of looking forward to it, honestly. I was telling Roach this. I really found my love for ARPGs. That's the one thing I gotta say. I may have fallen out of a lot of games. I don't really love shooters. I don't really love a lot of PvP games anymore. God damn if I don't love ARPGs now, man. God damn. By far my favorite game type.
Okay.
And what turned me off of it for so long, right, is I was apprehensive about the idea of you invest a lot of time into a character and you lose it all. But turns out I actually really like the mechanic of you invest a lot of time into a character and then you fucking do it again, and you make a new character and you play a different.
Well, you're
way.
always experimenting. Again, that's kind of the thing that I enjoy with like
It's
classic
fresh.
WoW seasons is you're playing with like these new mechanics that kind of change it.
Just because as long as it's done well, one of the most fun things about games is the beginning, is the leveling, is theming the build and working up to it. Once you get to the end of the game and you have your build set up, I mean, there's not much to do. Yes, people can always whine, oh, we need more endgame, but at the end of the day, once you've got your build and you've got your gear, you know, you're gonna fall off no matter what the end game is. You have all your shit, you know. What makes games really fun is working your way to that point. It's kind of what we talked about with where the leveling should matter. It's like getting to the end game, the chase of finding your end game is what's fun.
I
It's
know
not
I'm
actually being at the end of your build. That's not actually that fun.
Yeah.
That fun doesn't last.
Well, no, I
It's
know.
fun, though.
I know I'm in the minority here because I've talked to Carson about it before, and he like thinks I'm absolutely wrong. But I really think one of the things Classic WoW has going for it is like the leveling. Like it forces you to engage with the world. It forces you to be in the world and soak it up, and I really like that. And on top of that, like the way like the gear treadmill works in the late game, like raiding, is like it keeps you on that constant progression treadmill basically as long as it can. Like you farm out your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You're
8 times
not,
2, 16.
I'm gonna phrase it for you, Seb. You're not in the minority because you think that. What you're in the minority for is that you think that Classic WoW does that well. The reason you're in that minority is because you like Classic WoW, and that's perfectly fine. You like WoW. But the reason that's a minority group is a lot of people, these systems are too old or aged out for them. They wouldn't mind these systems on a new, fresher game. It's just the Classic WoW has aged out. The reason Carson doesn't like it isn't inherently because he wouldn't play a game like that, I think. It's that, I mean, maybe it is, I don't know. But I think it's more because it's Classic WoW that turns him off, you know?
Yeah.
It's you saying that you like it about Classic WoW, not that you like it about, I don't know, Diablo 4.
Honestly,
If
I'd
it
love
was
to
a thing.
see you guys play through Turtle WoW. Turtle WoW is Classic WoW, but they're rebuilding it in Unreal Engine.
Maybe, I don't know, man. I have had a rough experience every time I've tried WoW.
No, I'm not going to ask you guys to try
And
WoW. I've
The
been
last
trying
time was an
more
even
private
worse experience
servers.
because I made you mold because I molded so much. So, probably not worth it. I'm gonna be honest. You know
Like
what
I said,
mean?
I'm not asking anyone to play this game with me again. I've been trying private servers, and they're much more enjoyable than the actual experience.
I think I could tolerate it again if I was leveling with a group of people, and it would be fine and fun. But I'm not doing it solo ever again. I'm not even trying. Even a little bit of the solo experience is just not fun for me. I'm gonna be honest. So. Just the grind for me in these games is not fun, I guess, by myself. But that's kind of I don't know, that's the thing that made me fall off of a lot of MMOs I've tried, to be fair. Just Classic WoW did it the fastest. Is that, like, for me, if I'm playing a true MMO, I want to play with a group of people, you know? That's where the enjoyment comes from. That's where
Doesn't
the
help
enjoyment
that
of
like
Destiny
all
comes
of us actually play at a different fucking pace.
Yeah, that's the enjoyment of Destiny 1, is like I found a group of people online through like, I literally found some dude that was streaming to like 6 viewers who was doing trials, speedruns, and that was my trials group. I found some people that I was playing PvP with, and we ended up making raid groups to like 2 and 3 men in the raids instead of 6-manning them for fun. Like that's fun, you know? Like if I'm playing on an MMO, that's the chase. That's what keeps you invested in an MMO, even when you have all your gear, is you're logging on to play with people, you know? That's kind of that's where the MMO...
I've come to the conclusion that I'm probably going to, I'm going to try the next Classic WoW season, but I'm going to go out of my way to try and meet, like, a new group of people and try and play with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally the appeal of the MMO versus the ARPG, right? Because the RPG, the appeal is, like, there's tons of build variants, and you keep replaying it in different ways, and you can play by yourself, and it's really fun. The appeal of the MMO is, yes, you get to the end game, and, you know, like I talked about earlier, your build becomes a lot less interesting when it's already fully built. That's just how it works. But suddenly the game becomes very interesting because you're competing with a bunch of people, and you're comparing yourselves, and you're communicating with them all the time. That's what makes MMOs interesting. The multiplayer aspect of MMOs is the most important part, by a significant amount. MMOs become significantly worse if you're not engaging in the multiplayer part of them. And especially in a very slow-paced MMO, where it's difficult to get to the end, Classic WoW, and you don't engage into the multiplayer part until very late if you don't know what you're doing, I think it's a big turnoff for new players. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Again,
I think
a lot
you-
of you guys are, well, no, it's Carson and I have talked about this, where he does not want to engage with other WoW players. He just wants to play the game. and that's like you're hamstringing your experience.
I would engage with other WoW players, but I want to engage with you guys first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, and then ease into dealing with other WoW players. That's how I see it, which is fine. But if I'm gonna play the game by myself, that's just not gonna happen, and so I've accepted that I'm not gonna enjoy WoW ever. So.
Oh.
I mean, one of my enjoyments of ARPG or of AQW back in the day wasn't just that I was grinding a shit ton by myself. I would fucking snipe like the very few streamers when I was a kid who played Adventure Quest, and I would like grind bosses with them, and I do mean snipe them. Like I would find out where they were like private grinding, and then I would join in and grind with them. I know that sounds kind of cursed, doesn't it? But yeah, that's part of how I enjoyed Adventure Quest. Or I would have like one idiot who would like grind with me or something, and we would just like sit there brain dead, chatting to each other occasionally while we're hitting 5 buttons, you know. But it makes the experience better.
The panty farm.
That's like, but that's all that's necessary, right? You just need one other fucking moron being brain dead with you, and the experience becomes 10 times better.
Yeah, totally.
But that's what these games are built around. So if you don't have that, they suck. It's why there's no MMO that doesn't die if it loses player base. You know what I mean? It's why like many MMOs have to like try to like decrease their servers and put them all together in order to try to save the game by just putting more players.
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you want to try the New World patch in October?
We could try it. I mean, if
I don't
nothing
think
else,
it's gonna be good, but it'll be funny for content.
if nothing else, we can kind of poke fun at it. And,
Yeah, we can send it off.
I'm not gonna play a new character, but you'll get some influx of new players.
Wait, whoa! What if we made a drinking game out of it, where every time we encountered a bug, we take a shot?
I'm down. And also, I mean, we could either play our current characters, or you could try the new player experience, because the whole point of the redo, I'm not saying we should, and I don't think we will, but the whole point of the redo or whatever, I think, is that they're changing the new player experience again, by the way. Again. That's the whole point. They're trying to redo it again. Just cool as fuck. Hey. Power to them, I guess.
No, it's actually kind of insane. Even my fucking 60-year-old coworker who plays only New World thinks it's fucking retarded.
Of course he does, because they told them for a long time that they had something in store for them, and then what they had in store for them was a rework of the early game again instead of any end game content. Of course they'd be tilted. They like pushed out a semi-interesting DLC that was buggy, don't get me wrong, but it was fun. I mean, you remember, I was telling you, there was fun. I had fun for a while. You know that. I was playing that with some random fucking idiots and enjoying myself. Not talking to them in voice comms, but chatting with them and doing PvP in groups. And that shit was pretty fun. But goddamn, bro, once the content ran out, I stopped. Fine, you know, you expect there to be something new. But they just never added anything after that. There's just no new content. And then people stalled it out. Like the true supporters stalled because they were telling them they were adding something, and then here you go. What they're adding is a rework of the early game again, like the third time, the fourth time they've done it. You know, some big early game quest rework. It's like, bro, come on, man, this is retarded. But the whole point is they just want to they want to maximize on trying to get a bunch of fucking Xbox and PlayStation players, I think, to buy the game.
It's the final hurrah. I mean, I feel like when WoW is on its deathbed, they're gonna try and bring it to console to revive it, and it's not gonna work.
And it's gonna be worse than they're gonna bring it to mobile.
Yeah, true.
They're gonna bring it to Chinese mobile fucking apps. That's what they're gonna do. And it will revive it for a bit. Those netizens are motherfucking crazy. Alright, let me put it that way. They are crazy. God damn. And I haven't even customizing my build. I've just been talking to you and staring at your stream and not even processing what I'm looking at.
It's okay. I can't process what I'm looking at either.
Not gonna lie.
Retail is such a clusterfuck visually. It's not like one of my big problems with retail is like visually when you're fighting something you can't even tell what's going on because there are so many effects on your screen.
I did enjoy the League games, you know, LCS, whatever. Gotta say though, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier when you were talking about just having a big character. It's like, if the concern with that is if you fuck up the visual effects of everyone, that's a problem, you know? This is kind of what you're talking about with WoW.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Shit on the screen.
Hear me out. What if instead
This
of
gameplay is miserable.
What if instead of character size it was just weapon size?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. At the end of the day, it is an ARPG, so I think like when you're in combat, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like when you're running through a dungeon, it doesn't fucking matter how much you mess with someone's screen, because every fun build in an ARPG
Looks like a
I'll just-
clusterfuck, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a clusterfuck. I mean, especially like, okay, I'm a mainly D4 player, but I look at PoE and I'm like, Jesus,
Yeah,
these builds
the
look
late game
ridiculous,
PoE
bro.
builds look fucking wacky.
People literally buy NPX things to change how their spells look, so they don't get flashbanged by their own spells. You know, like I think Asmund literally did that. He bought NPX to change how one of his spells looked in some build a while ago, so that he in a stream wouldn't get flashbanged while he was playing.
That's funny.
Which is actually a genius by GGG. You know what I mean? Think about that. Like, hey,
Hey, yo,
you
they're
gotta
farming,
get there.
dude. They're farming.
Farming that money, but
5, 4, 3.
Oh, man, I don't remember how this fucking raid works. I think we have to, like, space out equally.
Watch your step. Stay away from lines. Watch your step. Stay away from lines.
Getting out of that corner. Every melee caster in that corner is not fucking moving when they're getting their shit on them.
Watch your step.
I also really would just want to make a game that, like, by the way, that I made my own PoE build. I looked up a lot of stuff, and it might not work, but I made my own version of the whole Cyclone Slayer thing, and that's what I'm leveling with. And so if it ever doesn't work, you know, hey, fuck it, I guess I just quit for the season. You know what I mean? But that was what I went with. But I guess the point that PoE made me really enjoy was I was like, man, and the one thing that I wish Daigo had more of is, man, I love all this random crap that you can customize with. And what's so fun to me about these is, like, going into a new season and coming up with some stupid fucking build and just seeing if it works. You know? And if I would design an ARPG, I want that to be first and foremost the most important theme. You know? It's just really stupid fucking builds and combinations that some idiot can think of and try to make work. And if it doesn't work, hey, boo-hoo. But as long as the idea is there, that matters to me a lot, I guess. So who's this boss, anyways?
I don't
What's the
fucking
lore
know.
here?
I have no idea. I'm not even
Fair
fucking with
enough.
you. Here, let's see. Let's see what the
Fair
lore
enough.
is.
Where do you see it? Oh.
Naimu was placed in this verdant realm when Aranar and Freya shaped the dream in Wellspring Temple.
Watch your step.
I don't mean this toxically, but
Stay
explain
away
in
from
English.
lines.
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know who half those characters are. I'm gonna be real.
You fell off, bro. You fell off.
Well, okay.
Think about this,
Naimu's
man. You
the
got a
boss.
job and you fell off. You don't know WoW lore anymore, man.
Enar and Freya. So Freya's like an old school character. I think she was introduced in Wrath of the Lich King. She's one of the Titans. She was one of the people that like helped like order the world. And what I mean order is like they like forming the schools of magic and making it so things were not chaotic.
Yeah.
What a bullshit boss.
Seems like I'm not gaming at all tonight, by the way. I'm hanging here, customizing my build a bit, and then
And then
probably
the dream is a parallel realm of Azeroth that has been untouched by mortal hands. So it is the world as if nature was never conquered by man. The Wellspring Temple, no fucking clue. Ordering of the Emerald Dream, same thing as I said before with ordering. Weaving its wilderness into complex patterns. So instead of just wild growth, it's like, you know, trees.
Okay.
What'd I get? I got a trinket? I got a trinket. No, I got a neck. This neck is not even an upgrade. I'm out of here. Fuck you, people.
Ooh, crack my neck.
I have a question.
What's up? What's up?
Hunters, right? You know what I mean when I'm saying hunters, right?
You mean like the WoW hunter, right?
Yeah,
Or
like
what
the
do you
WoW
think?
hunter, where you have a pet and you do
Yeah.
damage with the pet and a gun and melee if you want. What do you think of a passive that divides your stats? Okay, you have a pet with stat of 100%, like 100% stats. You take the talent, you have 2 pets with 50% stats or like 60% stats, so it's still like an upgrade. Like you're gaining 20% total stats on your pets, but you're splitting it between 2 targets.
Yeah. See?
I don't know. I think the fantasy of the fantasy of a fucking horde of birds, you know, or like a horde of fucking squirrels.
Ragnaros threatened to swallow Azeroth in flame. No wonder she remembers him. Are these Azeroth's memories, or ours?
Oh fuck.
I wouldn't call this
I am starting to get poo-pooed, man.
radiant.
Poo-pooed?
Yeah, tired. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty real, honestly. I'm so tired tonight, it's not even funny.
I did not gym this weekend. I got so lazy. I got to gym.
Ragnaros
Just
threatened
crashed
to
really hard this
swallow
weekend.
Azeroth in flame.
Crazy.
No wonder
So I was so brain dead yesterday. I'm just like too tired. Not enough sleep too. Like 3 days in a row.
Same.
I've been downstairs like 2:30 a.m. letting Elvis outside to cool down. So, pretty horrendous.
No time for nostalgia, champion. threatened to swallow Azeroth in the flame. No wonder she remembers him. No time for nostalgia, champion.
That was a big ass sphere. You almost missed tonight's stream. Funny, was it? Funny. Memories of Hakar. That's so funny, big man.
Are these Azeroth's
You're funny. You're a silly guy.
Are these Azeroth's memories? Or ours? call this particular echo radiant? Fire Lord Ragnaros returns. Brace for battle.
I had a, because I have a fucking obsession with gambling. I had a cool idea.
What?
So I've done a lot of like gambler classes that deal with cards and dice, like normal decks of cards. What if there was a melee gambler that used tarot cards to multiply what each individual swing did? Because like in the tarot deck, there's cards like the 9 of Swords and stuff.
Oh no, melee gambler class?
Melee gambler class.
No, the card clasher from Adventure Quest Worlds.
Is that a thing?
Yep, it was a paid class that you had to buy the Adventure Quest World trading card that they made at one point to be able to use the class. And then with the class unlock basically gave you a class that when you pressed a button, it would roll one of 3 random cards. You could pop the cards if you wanted to, or you could keep rolling through them. You would get different buffs and debuffs, both of the enemy and yourself, based on the cards and combination of cards you popped. And you could also stack up a certain buff that would make you take self-damage, but would improve the effect of popping the cards. That was how the class worked.
Can you send me the wiki page for that?
Sure.
I honestly should play AQW. There are so many cool class ideas in that game.
They legit have some cool classes. The problem is a lot of the other shit sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They actually have some pretty interesting class ideas.
Well, it's kind of like classic WoW, where it's like there's really cool ideas in there, but like the game's poop.
Okay, so here, let's see. Deals a new card to you and your opponent. Cards make you stronger and your target weaker. Cards have additional effects when tap is cast. So, it applies one of the following effects to you. Vigor, Vitality, and Fortitude. And to the target,
shit,
weakness,
wait, no,
imposition.
that's TF's like searching for a card ability.
Kind of, but it's random.
Oh,
but yes,
instead of just cycling. Yeah.
Yeah. Weakness, imposition, and breach. All effects last for 10 seconds. Successive usage of deal consumes and replaces the previous effect on you and target with new ones. Tap the cards on you and your target, removing the cards and applying powerful effects. Power is increased by the stakes stacks, which is the next thing, which are consumed. So you can stack it up and then get a big tap on the correct deal. So if you get the correct buff and debuff on your opponent, you can then turn in all your stacks to get a huge tap and do a significant damage, and buff the buff and the debuff effects. So Vigor is active on yourself. Tap replaces it with Tap Vigor to increase your crit and haste and outgoing damage. If Vitality is active, Tap restores your HP based on a proportion of the damage dealt and replaces Vitality with Tap Vitality to give you a heal over time for 15 seconds. And then if Fortitude is active, Tap replaces it with Tap Fortitude to increase your dodge and reduce damage you take. 15 seconds. And then Raise the Stakes increases the damage of Tap by 50% for every stack on top of the effects.
I remember reading through like the Sands of Time Warrior or whatever the fuck it was called in AQW, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, they have a lot of interesting classes. They really do.
Yeah.
Raise the Stakes. Each of the cast of the spells makes the effective tap and clash. So clash is the blast ability, I'll tell you. But also hurts you and makes you more vulnerable to damage. You can sack it 4 times, and then you eat them all when you tap. And then he has some passives that gives you luck and crit, dodge, and hit. And the clash ability deals damage to your target based on the Raise the Stakes stacks and does not consume them. So basically you stack up Raise the Stakes, you spam flashes, then you deal out the correct cards. Often the way you would do it right is you pre-buff yourself with deal tap, then you spam Raise the Stakes under the damage buff while using clash to do damage, and you set up a card buff where you could heal yourself where you get low, and then you would tap to consume your Raise the Stakes and heal yourself back up while reducing the damage your opponent does. And that's how the clash would work.
That's cool. I like that. That sounds interesting.
And you would have to like roll, you would obviously have to keep rolling your deal combination while you were buffing and doing damage. And sometimes you could get neutered because you would never hit the heal. Like if you got really unlucky and that would kill you.
Look up.
I sent the card flasher thing to you.
Smash. What's the most recent Smash game? Smash Ultimate?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Look up Smash Ultimate Steve gameplay.
Steve.
he has this really cool mechanic where like you kind of are doing what you're saying there, where you're drawing, but instead of cards, it's materials, and you're mining for specific materials to make your next ability bigger.
Oh yeah, sure. Get what you mean. Yeah, I think the one part of Victor World that's really cool is that they legit have a lot of cool class ideas. Like I've told you about their chronomancers, right? They have like so many different weird chronomancers. They have a lot of really different classes, like with unique effects. I think part of what helped them is that the classes are actually designed very simply, where they have an auto, they have 4 abilities, and they have like 2 or 3 passives. That's all the classes do. There's some very weird classes that have more abilities because they can change what the ability does, you know, by using a certain ability. But generally speaking, the classes are designed around having 4 buttons plus an auto, you know, and some random passes. And so it's simple, but because of that, you can make a ton of different ones using that layout. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. The other thing I like about AQW, I think I've told you about it before, they have awe enhancements and these weird, like, farmable enhancements for your gear that give you weird effects, like trading healing for damage or damage for tankiness, so on and so forth. You can put on different types of gear. So there's specific cape enhancements, specific helm enhancements, weapon enhancements, so on and so forth.
AQW isn't still being made, right? It just exists, right?
No, it's still being updated on.
Wait, it's still being fucking made?
Yeah, they still update on it, I'm pretty sure. I would be shocked if they didn't. They've been doing this shit forever. Yeah, they have an event going on right now.
There's no fucking... Wait a minute.
Yep. They have the double celebration weekend or something.
Here's the part where I make content by playing AQW, and I waste $1 million on eBay to get the fucking card.
That sounds pretty cursed. Yeah, I think you could just buy the class in-game now for a lot of these things. You don't have to do that. I also had a weapon because I bought a poster ages ago.
Is it AQW Infinity?
No. Well, I don't know. Well, is it Infinity? I can't remember. Infinity might be their launcher because they no longer can use Flash, so they made a launcher. So maybe it is Infinity.
But that's how you'd play AQW, right? Like
yeah, I think it is. I think yeah, that's their launcher, and then you get it from there. You're right.
Okay, cool. Wait, coming soon.
Oh, is their launcher? Is Infinity not done yet?
Infinity's not done yet. What the fuck is this?
Oh, then how do you play it now? I don't remember. I knew I downloaded a launcher at some point. I think they have a launcher.
It's probably not on Steam, huh?
Yeah, maybe it's just not on Steam. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I could still figure out some of my old classes or characters. I have 2 that I kind of know about.
Adventure Quest 3D.
I mean, Zeb, I could give you the Card Clasher one if you wanted to try it.
Jesus Christ.
One of my characters has the Card Clasher still on it.
Give me a second. I want to see if like I can play it. Like I want to see if like I have to download it through my browser or something.
Oh, 3D is a piece of shit. 3D is a piece of shit. Worlds was their kind of good game. 3D, okay. Maybe it's better now. Maybe they've made it better. It's been a while. I know they've been iterating on it slowly, but 3D is a piece of shit, bro.
Adventure Quest Worlds.
Yeah, Worlds is what you're looking for. Or if you want their super OG game, it's just normal Adventure Quest / Battlelong, which is a single-player, turn-based combat game. They also have Dragon Fable, which is their other.
Oh my god, the art looks so fucking stinky.
Yep. Doesn't look as stinky as the 3D art, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can download the launcher from the website. I'll do this after stream. Fuck it. I'll try it. Not this second, but I will. Yeah.
At some point. All right. I mean, let me
point.
know. That sounds pretty dangerous.
Let's,
I mean, I'll obviously do that with you, just so I can show you around briefly.
Let's take a look at what you sent here. The Card Clasher.
Yeah. I've taken some classes before, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure you actually linked me the Chrono one.
Yeah. Let's see if I can come up with some. One of the downsides of Adventure Quest Worlds, like obviously it's what they do. They have a lot of very goofy ass things, like goofy looking things, but obviously that makes the game a lot less serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the appeal to people who want a more serious sort of MMO.
Well, yeah, but
kind of a meme game.
If you're playing, like, I don't know,
I mean, yeah, it's a meme
Carson,
game.
close your ears.
Who, me?
Yeah, you close your ears. I actually
God.
can't stand how like Diablo looks. It looks so fucking depressing to look at.
What, like D4?
Yeah.
It's a bit too gray.
It's so depressing to look at.
You can upscale the colors with certain settings if you really wanted to. You should probably consider. Like, I think with Nvidia,
I mean, it's supposed,
you can upscale the colors.
It's supposed to be. Kind
Yeah,
of
I know,
pretty
but
and
like
stuff,
even
but
like
I'm not
D3
saying that
isn't
it's,
as like
you need to like it 'cause
oppressive.
it's supposed to be. Yeah, the people don't like the look of 3. Actually, they say it's too cartoony.
See, I play WoW. WoW is incredibly cartoony. I have no problem with cartoony.
I think
Yeah.
I think 3 looks fine.
I don't mind D4's appearance, but if you did want to upscale it to tolerate it better, you could use an. Literally saw a picture of someone on the D4 Reddit somewhat recently who like made it way brighter and colorful. I think using Nvidia. I don't know what settings they used, but you could try
It's
that.
based and deserved because depressing games should have been
Wait,
left
do you
in the
remember-
fucking 2010s.
You remember how I deep fried Valorant
Yeah,
forever ago to play it?
it's the same
I
shit.
think
Yeah.
someone did that with D4. Yeah.
Seth, speaking of D4, you were doing like planner stuff earlier. Do they have the new?
Yeah, they're all
I
updated
was-
on the.
I was trying to look up like I was able to find the like new uniques, but I couldn't. And none of the websites I was looking on had the like.
Here, let me link this
changed
one.
Versions.
You just have to make sure it's on season 5. I think it already is. But...
Yeah, I just want to look at like the uniques that are being changed. I'm probably gonna play Rogue again, just because like there's always gonna be a Rogue build that I'll enjoy.
Yeah, there's they changed the
I
bows
wanna-
quite a bit. You might want to use some of those unique bows now.
Yeah.
They also check out Word of Hakan, the amulet.
Mm-hmm.
That thing
that's
is
the Rain
pretty-
of Arrows one, right?
Yeah, it is now the only thing in the game that gives double ultimate casts.
Yeah, I don't know how
Kind of
it's being
interesting.
changed, but I've wanted that to be a good build for a while. I think it could have been really fun, but
If it might
Rain of
work,
Arrows
it's this
just
season. To be honest, you
sucks.
could try it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's like different now than it was.
Yeah, it gives like 300 ult skill damage, chance for Rain of Arrow waves to cast twice, Rain of Arrow's cooldown, and a huge amount, right? Like this
Mhm,
plus a
yeah.
small cooldown roll anywhere else gives
And,
you the
well,
70 cooldown,
I
and
don't
it gives
know
you imbuement ranks.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they would change this, but one of the rogue like I don't remember specializations is that like for every time you spend like 100 energy or 75 energy or whatever, it
Yeah.
reduces your ult cooldown.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to, like, the build, like, like, you could make the build already cast a ton, it just didn't do any damage, was the problem.
Yeah. One of the things that really interested me about Rogue that they changed was they changed Saboteur's Signet a decent bit.
Yeah.
Now it gives
Okay.
stun grenade size.
Yeah.
And it gives energy whenever stun grenades explode per individual one. So you drop clusters, so it by itself can fix your energy. And it works with any core skill now. And instead of being a small lucky hit for each grenade, it gives them each 5% lucky hit, which may seem small, but when you're dropping like 10
Yeah,
grenades,
well, it
that is
used to
not
only
small.
be 2 on that,
Yeah.
and that was, like, very small, and, you know, the amount of
Like,
grenades being dropped.
That's a pretty huge buff to the lucky hit on it.
Yeah.
But actually,
and I
maybe if you're very interested, try Andariel's grenade build. Or use the grenades to
Yeah,
drop
maybe.
Andariel's if you can get the luck. Especially because the new Fist of Fate gives you 60% lucky hit base or something like that.
Ooh, that's cool.
Or 55, I can't remember. Which is pretty insane.
What's the new unique amulet that gives you, like, crit chance based on your resource? That one's
Yeah,
really
Lock
cool.
Rend, that's pretty cool. Let me
Get, like,
see
crit damage faster or
D4.
something.
I think I can give you the actual numbers on the D4 patch notes thing if you look.
I don't care much about the numbers. I just kind of want to see what the effects are
Oh, okay, sure.
of ones that are potentially being changed. Because like I said, I was able to find the new ones, but I didn't see any of the like ones that were changed.
Yeah, there's a new helm that's pretty crazy, but it's really hard to make work because it makes your resource
Yeah, the
cost
crown
like 150%
illusion
more.
or whatever.
Yeah, but it gives you 75 damage if you can do it. One of the cooler ways that they allow you to do it now is because before I think you had to use certain amounts of resource, but now it's for every skill with a resource cost. So, specifically, Druid can make a setup where their skills, they don't use, like, all their skills that would cost resource cost 0. And in
Yeah.
doing so, you can
Oh yeah,
keep
yeah. There's like or like when Cataclysm is active.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I saw that
you can make a
upload.
build that has perma cataclysm, 0 costs, plus perma crown of Lucian. And actually, the thing I was cooking that I saw no one else cooking with is they updated waxing gibbous. It was the shred unique that made you, like, whenever you killed something you with shred, you went into stealth, and whenever you break stealth, you had 100% crits. Well, they updated it so now Dark Howl gives you stealth. I was thinking, wait, you don't even need to use shred. You could just use waxing gibbous, spam your howl, like, if you can get the cooldown low enough with bold chieftains, and then use other abilities with 100% crit, and then use Mjolnir's ring that have 0 resource cost.
I'm sorry, what? Whose ring?
Whatever.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, yeah, it was Mjolnir. But you have a 0 resource cost, 100% crit build. Kind of interesting.
The new Scoundrel Leathers seem cool. While you have unlimited energy from Inner Sight, which is one of the specializations, your core skills have a 60 to 80% chance to spawn Caltrops, Poison Trap, or Death Trap. So like a Death Trap, or just trap, like the OG like Twisting Blades trap builds with that could be really fun.
Nuke some enemies, yeah.
Just like nuke groups because all the like the Death Trap is gonna like pull shit in and stuff like that. Just like AoE.
Not that you care much about basics, but there's a new basic weapon that makes all your basics do 200% damage, but costs 25 resource. Called the Shard.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I mean, I do care about basics. I did the
that's true.
Forceful Arrow build. That was like my main build or whatever.
That's true.
Forceful Arrow, something like that.
Heart Seeker, maybe.
Heart Seeker, that's it. Forceful Arrow.
Yeah, Lacran seems really cool if you can stack a ton of resource. I kind of want to. That's a necro build in theory crafting. Is playing Lacrans with Grandfather.
Yeah.
It also has a max resource roll on it.
That counts. Like your summons count as resource skills.
And Deathless Visage, because Deathless Visage scales. Gives your Bone Spears additional multiplicative scaling based on every 30% crit damage you have or something. So if Lockrans works the way I hope it does, which is it actually multiplies the amount of crit damage you have, not just the damage you do when you crit. That's the way it reads to me at least. And Grandfather does the same thing. You could get shit tons of cheat crit damage, which then gives you shit tons of damage with Deathless. I was gonna cook that up and then I just started talking to Zeb and got completely distracted.
Whoops.
All your fault.
It's Zebediah's fault.
It's all my fault. Always is. Always has been.
Zebediah doing the end. If there's anything else randomly interesting. Well, they added Creeping Death back, so your dots get 20% more damage for every different CC effect, or 40% more versus Unstoppable or bosses, same thing. Staggered bosses. So, dot scaling. Nice.
Grasp of Shadow still remains relatively untouched.
What was that one?
That's the you get a chance to summon a clone that mimics your.
I guess the main question is maybe they fixed the clone's damage.
Maybe.
That would be in bugs. I don't know. Though they might not have.
If the clones are actually good, because you used to Shadow Clone ult used to be just the kind of generic ult.
Well, they said fixed an issue. Fixed an issue where Shadow Clone didn't deal damage with Rapid Fire. I don't know if that was the main issue for you, but
I mean, it's not. I guess that was probably the build you would use it in the most because Rapid Fire was the strongest build.
Yeah.
I feel like
more issues than that.
It could be play. It could be play. I mean, I used to do the double core skill build, and I used this in that because you use Shadow Clone first of all, and one of the Shadow Clone extra passives makes it do a little more damage or something. I don't know if it did, but I assume it applied to the grasp of Shadow Clone. But it also gives ranks to core skills. So until I found ones that were plus to the two specific ones I wanted, it's if you want to use multiple core skills in the build, it's just kind of generically good because of that.
Oh yeah. Also, I don't know.
Attack speed when you get chances.
I don't know if this is true, but Imperial's Might may actually be a legitimate consideration now for a road build compared to a Dark Shroud chest, because now it gives it caps your res by itself, so you don't need res in your jewelry or in your any res rolls. On top of giving you even more max res, it rolls move speed on it instead of all stats, and the damage reduction got doubled from 10 to 20 at base. So,
you still get a lot more out of Dark Shroud, but you can have that. You can put the Dark Shroud in advance.
Oh, okay.
And
I was thinking about the plus ranks to Dark Shroud or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know.
Is that better or worse than plus ranks to Dark Shroud G8? I don't know.
It would be better.
Okay.
I guess maybe, yeah, if it's G8 and totally maxed out, maybe it's better, but for the majority of the time, it's probably gonna be better.
Another big thing is, Andariel's used to be only 10% attack speed, now gives 30. So, G8, I imagine, okay, well, G8 is not a good idea because it's Uber, right? But Masterwork, that gets you like over halfway to attack speed cap of a bucket by itself. It's kind of crazy. Also gives 666 poison res. Good meme. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you saw the Harlequin's quest, but it gives 20 cooldown reduction.
The Harlem quest?
Did it?
Yeah.
Didn't we do that before?
It gave 12 or 7. It gave 7 before, so they
I thought it
doubled the
was.
cooldown on it.
I could have sworn it was already 20, but I'm not.
No, it gives 20 damage reduction.
Isn't that? No,
That's the
wait,
thing it
so-
gives. Yeah. Now it goes 20. Oh, cooldown.
Oh, okay.
Gives 20 cooldown reduction, yeah. And it has the armor roll on it now, so you don't need an armor roll on your gear. Kind of nice. Let's see what else could possibly interest you. Did you use Penitent Greaves sometimes?
In the early seasons I did.
They changed it so now it has both evades give boost spin and evades can make you unhindered for 2 seconds. So if you're evading a lot, you get basically unstoppable. It gives you crit chance versus the chilled enemies too. It gives you chill potency, and it gives you a bigger multiplier than it used to.
Yeah, it was for like
Oh.
melee builds. It was kind of just like a generically, even still, it's just kind of like a generically good thing. But I haven't done a melee
Question.
build since like season 1.
What's up?
What does penitent mean? Or penance? Or any variation of that word?
And it finish it.
I think
Feeling or showing sorrow and regret for having done wrong.
I was gonna say it's like
The
suffering
definition.
for something, but
Repentant.
kind of similar, I guess,
Gotcha.
for a cause. But yeah.
Yeah, because I think penance is like.
Repent, sinner. Yeah, there you go. Oh, if you're gonna use
voluntary self-punishment inflicted as an outward expression of repentance for having done wrong.
if you're gonna play Rain of Arrows, you should definitely consider Flicker Step. Oh,
Yeah.
300 all damage on it. Too. GA that 300 alt damage. Roll on that thing. Get like 600 alt damage out of Flicker Step. Pretty insane. Even if it's like additive, 600 additive damage is no joke. Big difference from 60 additive damage.
Yeah, the Eagle Horn now has. Yeah, the Eagle Horn is going to be really good for finish shot, because the problem with it is you needed the chance for it to cast twice, and now it rolls with that. And gives ranks to it, and Malice is much better now.
They actually made Fist of Fate a super based item, by the way.
Oh no, what?
Not only does it have the like ridiculously high lucky hit, and it also has like crit attack speed, chance to apply 2 different random crowd control effects, and it still has the attack random rolls, but it has the highest variance of possible rolls in the game. Its rolls can start anywhere from 0.1 to like 8.7 for attack speed and crit.
Holy shit.
Or for lucky hit, it can go from 1% lucky hit to 51.8 lucky hit. Which is kind of on theme, right? It's a super random
Yeah,
glove
it's super
skill.
RNG. Like the whole point of it's like Giga RNG.
Which, given that this is actually an insane item for lucky hit builds, I guess a G8 Fist of Fate probably is one of the highest value items in the game. If you get a G8 Fist of Fate with a high roll.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have that Beast in the Ice.
Might be, yeah.
Or was that Gorger? Maybe they both do.
I can't remember. Pangorger definitely was Beast in the Ice.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Fist of Fate. Frostburn got updated in an interesting way, but I don't know why I would use it over Fist of Fate. That's the problem. Like now it has 2 rolls of lucky hit chance to proc fire and cold damage. And it gives you a big amount, I guess that's why, it gives you a big amount of fire and cold damage as well. So you have like runes that scale multiplicatively with high fire and cold damage. You know, that's why you would use Frostburn, because it literally could solve that for you by itself. Plus it has 8 lucky hit and attack speed. Actually, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they did fix the bows a lot. It's the main problem with using unique weapons, like you wouldn't get the chance to fire things twice. It's called Forge thing. But yeah, they all that.
Oh, this Sky Hunter crit damage roll is insane. It gives you 250% and 170 base.
Yeah.
So by itself, it gives you 420% crit damage
I was looking at that.
without rolling it.
Doing any, forget what the passive is.
And one of the only items that rolls attack speed on a weapon now.
Yeah.
At a high value. Oh. This got interesting.
Azurath has, like, a lucky good chance to like, some amount of cold damage on top of the chance to freeze and deal damage.
Hmm.
That's kind of interesting.
Oh, my spine. I'm getting scoliosis.
Scoliosis. Look, scoliosis. Dude, got him. Anger. Maybe.
Do we bring damage reduction % max life? Pretty nuts.
Yeah, they bumped up the percent max life. All the Ubers are fucking Giga Ubers now, I'm gonna be honest, if you look at them.
Good.
They were already strong, but now they're fucking
I
crazy.
do really want
Starless
to
is like legit broken, if you look at Starless.
I haven't gotten to Jewelry yet. I do want to try the shape of it.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of a way to like spam cooldowns on Rogue to play Shade Totem plus the Rakanoff Wake boots and scale the boot damage, but always having a totem to get more damage out of it. Because the boots, they're the boots that give you AoE fire damage whenever you proc a cooldown.
And the boots with the fur.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what cooldown could be super quickly reset.
Well, the grenade build that is in right now is you're constantly resetting the stealth one if you're invisible.
Maybe that's the strat. You build around that with the boots, and you build Umbacrux to always have like something to reflect damage off of.
The thing with that build though is you needed like, and I haven't looked at any of the aspects and how they're changing, but you needed like all of the grenade like damage increase ones. So it's like you couldn't really afford to run a bunch of uniques in that, at least in the damage slots.
Well, I was thinking all the damage
But
would come
maybe.
from Rakanos if you could scale it.
Yeah.
And you just use the grenades to reset the cooldown of the concealment or whatever. So I was trying to figure out what builds could scale Rakanoff, and my idea for Rogue was like, if something could scale it, you can use Umbacrux to get more scaling out of it. And Rogue's kind of was good at scaling random weird effects. Is what I saw before. Although I'm not sure if it would scale a fire damage effect that well. It's probably more of a sword thing. Druid could probably do
But you
something
can
weird with it
go,
too.
you can go, like, I had some, you know, just like, there's some cooldown resetting stuff from Sword.
Yeah.
You could use it in that for sure.
Wind Force gives you move speed. The only weapon I think that does that as well. Actually the Uber can do it too, like Ender.
Yeah, I might want to try one shot build now.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, I feel like it would have been. No, I don't know actually. Or the cat bouncing off walls and stuff. And it just looks really fun. Like just having, if you're in, like if you're in a big open area, it doesn't do anything. But if you're in like a dungeon and it's like, you know, very like closed and stuff, it could be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is the yes, Temper's unlocked some stuff, but this is the first season where you're gonna have some very new builds, I think, and different builds.
Yeah, and
Temper's just made certain builds more viable, you know. This is the first time you'll really see some very. I mean, not saying there weren't some new ones, but those are based on off of one or two new uniques, whereas this is like a lot of change, I think. Kind of interesting. Although it's kind of good that they do it now in the 2-month season. Just let people vomit all over with some crazy overtuned things, and then the DLC comes out, and hopefully things get balanced. We'll see. I know that there's a supposed big number crunch going on, but no one knows for sure.
Yeah, I heard about that too. It sounds interesting.
They're doing a number crunch, a level crunch, everything. They're a Paragon rework to some extent. Apparently, those are the rumors going on.
Thank you for the raid.
We'll
Sorry to
see.
say, you're gonna watch me feed. You're gonna watch me int. You're gonna watch me get my party killed.
Just be better. Just
Be
don't-
good.
Nah,
I'll do
I don't know. I'm like middle of the pack DPS. I'm right where I want to be. I'm comfortably average.
Oh, Carson, I don't know if you saw Winter Glass is like even more ridiculous. I don't know if you saw what they did. It- Okay, well it gives a shit ton more non-fizz damage, which can help you solve that whole cold damage for the Paragon by itself. It gives you chance to cast Frozen Orb on it. Twice, I mean. It gives you Conjuration cooldown resetting when Frozen Orb explodes. Gives you more Conjuration Mastery ranks. And now the Frozen Orb, instead of a 50%, has a 65% chance to spawn a Conjuration. And your Conjurations have up to a 90% lucky hit to launch a Frozen Orb. Instead of 70. So I feel like that build has to be like, even, I don't know, completely batshit insane now. Especially if you're constantly resetting your Conjurations. Might actually unlock some new builds. Because you could just use it as a way to reset your Conjurations in theory.
Yeah.
Like, with Lightning Bolt, maybe.
And there's the new, like, the thing with chain lightning that gets around you now or something like that.
Yeah, there's that weird one. That one's good. I think that one's gonna create its own weird build. Because you really have to set up to pay the cost of all the mana. Because it costs a shit ton of mana. So you really have to make a specific build. It's going to be different, I think, from a normal chain. Like, there's going to be a chain lightning build, and there's going to be a chain lightning pants build. Which I think is good. Two different builds. It's like how Landslide has, like, the Trample Slide, and it has the hard casting Landslide with the ring. Like, different variations. It's better when there's stuff like that, personally.
Damn, he's talking about hammering me. How homoerotic.
Oh, the fireball shit that they did was kind of interesting too, Carson. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, wasn't there something of like...
They buffed the 2 uniques a shit ton.
And they have like a chance to... There when it's like something has a chance to cast one of your basic abilities.
Yeah, it's called Vox Omnium. I don't know if that'll be good or not. But the way Vox Omnium works is, whenever you cast a core skill, it'll cast 2 basics based on the elements of the last 2 non-core skills you cast. Very weird. And it buffs them by like 90% damage or something. It's a very weird item. I feel like it will enable something, but I don't think anyone knows what yet. Honestly, I think a lot of people think it's
gonna
just...
be some weird like...
I think a lot of people just think it's shit right now, which means it'll probably enable some weird-ass build at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not even this season, you know?
Release the fucking Kraken.
It might be good for like a weird, for like the conjuration, push the, or conjuration like ice. Frozen orb, maybe. Really casting all this shit. I just don't know if those skills will do like damage. It seems interesting.
But maybe they could give you some every even if they don't do damage. I wonder what. Like, if they're always casting shock, what do you get out of that? Shock can generate crackling energy. Can crackling energy do anything if you have
No.
conjurations? I don't think so.
They
Can it
would
give
have
you?
to-
Does it give you
they'd
any
have to-
utility?
I think you might be able to get like mana for picking up the sparks. Or-
Yeah, but probably not worth a two-handed weapon slot for.
No.
I don't know then.
I don't crackling energy. A lot to crackling energy.
Crossbow's kind of the interesting one, I guess, because Firebolt, you kind of want the whole shoot through the wall thing, and that doesn't work with Vox Omnium.
Yeah.
You have to actually cast them. But Frostbolt's kind of interesting because I think it explodes on frozen enemies. So it could cast chuck like 2 Frostbolts that explode on frozen enemies. It's like slightly interesting, I guess.
I'm so confused offhand.
When is any class? I think only
Yeah,
Necro has one. The Bone Storm one. The only one in the game, I think. I agree with you. I wish Druid had a totem too.
Lidless Wall.
Yeah, that's the one. Lidless Wall looks pretty dank too. I was looking at it before. The way they changed it. So yeah, Fireball is kind of fucking legit. The Staff of Endless Rage, 170 fire damage, 300 int, 55 Fireball projectile speed, which is pretty cool stat. Chance for Fireball to cast twice, plus 6 ranks to Fireball, then every third cast is like 90% more damage or something.
Yeah,
And then
Launches 2 additional projectiles, dealing 50 to 90% more damage.
Yeah, and then combined with the fucking gloves, crit chance, fireball attack speed, mana when a fireball explodes. So when again, it explodes every time it bounces, which these gloves make it bounce like 3 times or something. And then +2 to fireball. So this like those 2 items like solve your mana and give you shit tons of damage and AOE.
Maybe I'll do a fireball build or something.
It's pretty
I'm not really
nasty.
like it's kind of generic with rogue because like it's gonna be a rogue build I like, but there's like I can make one fireball.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at Sork, Necro, or Druid.
I might
Not 100% sure which.
maybe if there's some the barbs like I can there's gonna be a good way of stuff to go.
There is. I'm confident of that, especially because like yeah, the bleed whirlwind setup was somewhat nerfed, but you can just play the dust devil shit, which got buffed.
Yeah.
You can play dust devil whirlwind if you want. I don't know if pure whirlwind will be good enough yet. They buffed.
Because that's what I
That's what I would want to play too.
In 3 was just like it like in 3 the whirlwind build like yeah it has dust devils but like they don't really do much. They're kind of
No,
just there. It's like
I agree. That's what I would want to play. Is like Gore's
that
whirlwind.
That does yeah. Like, that's what I would do. Like that was the build. Like,
But you could just try it and see how it does. I don't know. I don't know if that's the first build you want to try, but you could try it and see.
yeah.
Let me see.
There's some
Gore.
new barb.
So Gore's whirlwind explodes every 2 seconds after it ends, dealing 70% of the base damage dealt to surrounding enemies. Is that like pre any multipliers? That's but I guess it's probably then that base damage gets multiplied by whatever. Okay, and it does it as fire damage.
It's fire damage is interesting because you don't really scale non-physical damage on barb.
Yeah, weird. Could be some weird way. Ranks the whirlwind, crit against close enemies, move speed, and attack speed.
Yeah. The third plate seems interesting too. The right mastery skills are core skills.
Yeah, doing that with death blow.
Yeah.
I had a build too where you do it with rupture because if the most interesting thing about barb to me is the Ring of Ravenous change, where instead of proccing only once every 4 seconds, it procs every second. Where a brawling skill triggers double rend. So every brawling skill you're triggering double rend, and then you can use that one sword to turn what's that bleed explosion? Rupture into a core skill. So you can just spam charge rupture, charge rupture, charge rupture.
Mm-hmm. That could be
And that would reset all of your charges. Kind of interested in that, but I don't think I wanted to play that compared to the other stuff. That was the reason I put it back.
I miss my charge build. I think that was still the most fun I've ever had in a Diablo game. It was so stinky. Just literally sweeping that
It looks
last
pretty
room
stupid.
in the dungeon. Just
Can't
going
lie.
back and forth.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
The other one that I was very interested in for Sork is, yeah, they nerfed Shatter a bit, but they changed these Frost Nova pants so that they increase your Shatter damage as Echo. On top of also giving you Frost Nova size. I was like, huh, I really wonder if you could make a Shatter build using these pants now. That's focused on multiplying the Shatter damage. They did that with a couple things too, because Druid now... Do you remember Mad Wolf Glee and like the Werebear version? They were the chests that made you like a wolf or a bear at base.
Right. Like your base form is bear
Yeah.
or wolf or something like that.
They made it so both of them now increase the like key passive related to their classes
It's
effectiveness.
like the like move speed or whatever, or is that like?
I think
the
one is
werewolves
like
move speed or something.
no, the
weird?
werewolf one is that I think every third attack, the werewolf's attack is a guaranteed crit and does a shit ton more damage.
Oh, okay.
Like 70% more damage, and then 140 if the target's injured, I think.
Oh, a key passive. I see what you mean. I thought
And
you
it-
meant just like a
Yeah.
generic passive when you're in that.
Yeah, and Mad Wolf Glee buffs that damage, I presume. And then the bear one is you get 20% max life in bear mode in 3 seconds after, and then you get 25% damage while healthy and 30% overpower damage.
It is good to see
And I think all that would be buffed. So, I mean, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting.
All appearances.
Starfall Coronet's good, but I just like, why would you play a Meteor Starfall build when you could use like the new Harlequin quest for End Ariel. So I mean, because you want to play Meteor, obviously, but you know, I don't know if it's good enough. Probably would need to get. I think it might need to get pushed a little more. Howl of the Nameless seems kind of good for Rogue now, dude. If you've looked at it, it's a helm. It gives CC duration, ranks to rapid gambits, ranks to unstable elixirs, and ranks to trick attacks, and you get 40 lucky hit against CC'd enemies.
I have to.
Seems kind of decent now, actually.
I have to remember what those passives are, though. I feel like that one was like a fine unique if you didn't have something better. Like Godslayers was just like better.
I wonder if like having all those passives makes this better now in some ways.
Those are not passives that I recognize the name of.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that useful.
Plus 40 lucky hits kind of legit.
Yeah.
Well, especially like use this and use the gloves, whatever. I'm thinking. Dissipate. You get 51 lucky hit off of one item, and you can buff it, and you get 40 off your helmet. Like if you just wanted to spam some lucky hit proc, that's a lot. Could you do Victimize with that? Use both of those and just spam Victimize procs? Is that ever good enough?
Yeah, that's
a lot of lucky hit.
You could, because and it depends on like what you're using too. Like some skills have really high lucky hit base. Like Art Seeker was what people use because it had like the highest base lucky hit.
Yeah. Okay, what are these passives? Now I'm curious. Crick attack. Dazing or stunning an enemy increases your crit chance.
It's all of those. There's like a branch of like 3 skills that all have to do with like crits, dazing, and knocking things down.
Oh, I see. It's all 3 of these. I see.
I think actually. I don't know about unstable elixirs. Unstable elixirs might be attack speed per.
It's using a healing potion stuns surrounding enemies and increases your damage by 6% for 10 seconds.
I've never seen that passive.
It's actually kind of interesting. Whenever you heal, you stun everything around you and get a 6% buff per rank.
I wonder if it's new. I've literally never seen
I think they reworked some of these passives to be around healing potions, and they added some healing potion aspect to Rogue, so that's probably why you've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could make a potion build on Rogue.
Attacks.
What is the potion thing they added?
Yeah, trick attacks. You don't need ranks in trick attacks. Really, it's just like when you crit a dazed enemy, they're knocked down, and it just increases the knocked down duration from 0.5 to 1.5 seconds. It's like not.
It increases your crit too by 2%.
The trick attacks?
Yeah, it says dazing or stunning an enemy increases your crit chance by 2%, crit strike damage by 2% for 5 seconds, both up to 12%.
Oh, that must be the new version.
Yeah, they must rework that. I mean, that's a pretty legit passive.
Yeah, now it's a little better.
12 up to 12% per rank, 36 for 3 ranks. This helmet seems kind of legit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it seems interesting now.
Two ranks of trick attacks is 20.
They did rework this little branch here. Let's see. I have to look through some of these passives.
Rapid gambits. Evading through an enemy dazes them for 2 seconds. Your evade cooldown is reduced by 0.25 when you daze an enemy. Okay, what can you do with perma evading that cares about crits and potion and lucky hit?
There's a grenade aspect. It's like you drop them when you evade.
So you're playing a grenade evade build with this. Wait, that sounds kind of cool, actually.
What, like you shit out a grenade and run away?
Every time you evade, you like leave.
And then Zeb, it'll reset your evade. It'll proc your lucky hits because you can give your grenades lucky hits, and it'll stack a ton of crit chance of crit damage. You just evade around, constantly resetting evade and dropping grenades on people. That sounds cool, actually.
That's kind of interesting, yeah.
Wait, so what was the potion thing? I thought they added some other potion aspect. Using a healing potion makes a free Dark Shroud Shadow. Each shadow grants 4% increased damage reduction. I mean, that seems pretty good.
Each shadow grants...
Yeah. And you can pop a healing potion to make a Dark Shroud Shadow.
Yeah, I wonder, is the... Let's search.
What about the... What are the healing potion? There was Soul Brand. How did that get changed? Max life, potion capacity, barrier regeneration, damage reduction while healthy. Your healing potion no longer heals instantly. Instead, it grants a barrier for 200% of healing for 4 seconds. You gain 30% DR while you have a barrier, and you may drink your Do you ever care about barrier as rogue? Is there like anything you can
No,
do
you
with
don't
it?
generate barrier. It's all it's dodging and DR. They don't have like barrier or anything like that.
And there was the temerity pants too, I guess. What's temerity now? If I actually heal you beyond 100% life, grant you a barrier for 100% your max life. You can now drink your healing potion while full life. Okay. Yeah. Kind of interesting that grenade fucking nonsense now, actually.
Yes. I just don't know if you have enough space in your build to get enough buffs to make that do any damage.
Howl, Fist of Fate, Saboteur Signet. What's the one that drops it when you evade?
I don't know what it's called. Aspect of surprise.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Huh. That is kind of interesting. You could also use the... No, this wouldn't work. Hmm. Okay, do you have any benefit for breaking stealth with Rogue?
Yes, dropping grenades.
Because there's an aspect that evading through an enemy infected by Shadow Imbuement gives you stealth for 4 seconds.
I think that was part of like the best way to play the grenade build in this last season was like resetting stealth.
Oh.
Breaking stealth would do stuff like you can have breaking stealth deal shadow damage to everything, and you can evade through them, and you can like reset the stealth in some way, and breaking the stealth also.
When you evade, you turn it.
Or maybe it was activating stealth drops.
You can also use Metamorphosis to always have unstoppable evades.
Yeah, but doesn't it increase the cooldown?
Oh, let me see.
Oh,
Yeah, it does by 5 seconds. You're right. You can use Flick or Step to help you reduce your evade and keep alting. What alt would you use?
Death Trap.
Is that like
Just
Shadow
for-
or?
Yeah, and just for CC, like it pulls everything in,
Interesting.
and you can get a lot of scaling of like. There's an aspect. I haven't looked at the aspects yet, but there's an aspect that changes grenades to trap skills, so you can get benefits from increases to trap skills, which is what I tried to do with grenades last season.
Also,
But actually, that was one of those things where it was like the grenades were really buggy even after they buffed them and stuff. So like I actually don't know if that works.
Grenades count as trap skills. Whenever you arm a trap or drop grenades, you gain 25% creep move speed for 3 seconds. Kind of cool. Dealing damage to enemies.
That was like what I tried to make work and like scale traps and stuff.
Oh, and dealing damage to enemies affected by your trap skills is a 30% chance to cause an explosion that deals shadow damage. So that's how you shadow damage everything.
Yeah, but I think there's also one that's like when you exit stealth, you do an explosion of shadow damage, and there's also one that's like when you lose a dark shadow, you do shadow damage.
Poison Trap no longer breaks stealth and triggers no cooldown on arm time while you are in stealth. All Poison Traps activate when you exit stealth, and Poison Trap's cooldown will be 5 seconds per trap placed. What the hell? So you can put a bunch of Poison Traps down in stealth. Basically. You can enter stealth, you have no cooldown on arm times, you can spam poisons, and then they all pop when you leave stealth. And then you get a cooldown on Poison Trap equal to 5 seconds per your trap you placed. Can you make a build with that? Like a stealth trapper?
I just don't know what that would do. I don't know if you can. I don't know if Poison Trap deals enough damage to have that do anything.
Yeah.
Other than just like spreading them all over a dungeon.
Seems so weird.
The only thing I can think of is literally like you get a pack, you stealth around and place a bunch of traps down around them, exit stealth, and it knocks the entire dungeon down.
What a fucking weird ass ability.
Dude, the rogue has like, especially like in that like halfway point of last season when they changed a lot of the grenade stuff, like it's almost a bit like druid of like just like the weird like.
Hey, that's what I like.
Setting of different things, yeah.
This trap thing is kind of interesting, actually. I didn't think I'd play it really. I kind of like this.
I don't know if the poison trap thing, like, I don't know if there's
any
way to like.
I probably would do the poison one. It's more the grenade trap thing. Casting a subterfuge skill leaves behind a
And
decoy trap that taunts and lures enemies. After 2 seconds, it explodes, dealing shadow damage.
If you remember, the other reason why I did the trap version of the grenade build is the key passive for the trap thing is that, like, affected enemies have a chance to, like, drop grenades or whatever. Key passives.
Dealing damage to an enemy affected by a trap skill has a 25% chance to reduce the active cooldowns of your trap skills and drop a cluster of exploding stun grenades. I see.
But
Which
the thing,
then, yeah.
the problem with that is that, like, the different sources of stun grenades, like, it wasn't consistent. So, like, the exposure grenades did not get the same bonuses that the aspect grenades got.
I see.
And
Mostly
they,
you use them to
they-
reset your
it was-
cooldowns of
it was
trap
just-
skills, I
It was
guess.
just like, I mean, they would still do some damage, but it was just the
What about-
grenade, the ways that the grenade
What about
scaled,
victimized? If
the
they're
ways
buffing
that
all the
the
lucky
grenade
hit.
scaled was not inconsistent, or
What
sorry,
about-
was inconsistent.
What about using grenades to proc victimize if they're buffing all the lucky hit?
Yeah, if you can get it enough to consistently proc them, it's probably good. I wanted to scale just like pure crit damage with them, but they
Yeah.
don't really scale with crit damage as you would like. The grenades were just like so buggy and inconsistent. That was like part of
Eyes-
why I didn't really do much with it. I don't think eyes is ever worth using. You can just
Traps
reset
arm
the-
1 second.
You can just you can get enough of like resetting the skill in other ways with exposure and stuff like that that doesn't matter at all.
It does say traps arm 1 second faster. How good is that?
Not doesn't matter.
Okay. Even if you can vomit them out, it's not a big difference.
Yeah, like.
Then it gives you
the traps-
aftermath
that would-
ranks.
I don't remember what aftermath does. I'd have to look.
That's probably damage after you pop a trap, honestly.
No, it's you heal and get energy after popping a trap. After popping in, wait, ultimate skill is on your action bar heal a percentage of life every second after using your ult. You gain energy. So they changed that. Added that
weird.
part. It didn't used to do that before. You would just gain energy when you ult.
Weird.
But I guess it's nice, like having 1 or 2 ranks, and that was good to get the energy if you're using the trap in like very spammy builds. So I guess it's nice to like not have to put points in it because you don't need that many points. You need like 1 or 2 points in it, and it's pretty useful. So I guess that's like kind of nice, but I still would never use that. Like you can just reset the trap enough as is that you don't need the rearming part of it.
Velvet also creates the Shade Tandem is a trap, right?
I don't know. Look.
Yeah, it does. The damage counts as a trap skill.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense with the grenade build that you would want to reflect the AoE damage.
Yeah.
It would probably
And
play on the crux in the grenade
I,
build.
I wanted to do that with like the kind of OG like Death Trap Twisting Blades build, and
Yeah,
that has like trap damage scaling and stuff like that.
You spend 75 energy, you release a cluster of exploding stun grenades that deal. Okay, yeah, so you just get grenades on energy and grenade damage.
There was like several grenades.
Ah,
This was cool.
Shit.
Smoke grenade can create an arrow storm when it explodes, dealing physical damage over 3 seconds.
The arrow storms are not that strong. They're good early game, but I mean, unless they like change them and buff them a lot, they're not very strong late game. Because it's just like that kind of flat damage thing, and some of the other arrow storm things do scale the arrow storm by percentage, kind of like how the grenade skills do. But this one doesn't. Maybe that'll be a good thing to do with it.
Opportunist. Whenever you enter a break stealth, you drop a cluster. Okay, so this is the pointing stun grenades when you enter a break stealth, so you would need opportunists.
Mm-hmm.
Grenade. Trickster. All drops and smoke grenade receives stun grenade benefits. Okay, and throw stun grenade, whatever. And then where's the shadow damage one? You either an enemy affected by shadow damage grants stealth. If you grenade a bunch. Surprise lets you grenade whenever you evade as well.
And the thing is, you kind of need like,
Shadow.
even if most of your damage is coming from one grenade source, you kind of need the other ones that buff the grenade damage as well.
Yeah.
That's why it was like the problem with my build is like the
But also-
I tried is I felt like I wanted like 1 or 2 more slots.
Mostly
for
thinking that
aspect.
like instead of scaling the grenade damage too much, you're like lucky hitting just and scaling wherever the proc is somehow.
Yeah, but
The problem with that is then you're using a bunch of aspects on grenades that don't actually scale the damage of the proc, right?
yeah, and then it's like there's probably just a better way to optimize.
I was wondering with like Endarials too.
Yeah. Should look at some passives.
Endarial's rogue is actually pretty interesting with Umbacrux, because always having a second thing to Endarials that you can put next to a boss is a pretty big damage difference, actually. Because the AoE of the Endarials will hit the boss for the full AoE, plus the Umbacrux Reflect will hit the boss. Endarial's Umbacrux is pretty big, actually.
Yeah, I'd really want to probably play around with the Umbercrux thing. It says they only have 1. I thought maybe they changed it. They used to,
What?
I think, didn't they used to you could have 2 totems?
I have no clue. I think they might have changed it.
Like when they first revealed it, I think it had 2, and then there was like the PTR or whatever, and I think they changed.
Trying to
it.
see how you can do more shadow. Like to always have everything marked with shadow damage.
Pretty easy with Shadow Imbuement. You just kill
Oh,
one
okay.
thing and it explodes.
What about versus bosses?
Shadow Imbuement still applies it to bosses.
Oh, okay.
It applies it to
But
whatever
immune skills.
gets hit. So if you just have some like AoE-ish skill, like the Fan of Knives one, or like whatever, anything that hits multiple things, even dash can apply it.
How about this? Shadow Imbued skills have a 75% chance to create a toxic explosion that applies some amount of poisoning damage over 5 seconds. If they were already poisoned, double the damage.
That's interesting.
Kind of interesting.
I feel like that you're using. I guess that would be good for Endarials.
It's like a different poison thing that you're also scaling, but yeah, if you're already scaling poison, that might be good.
Yeah,
You can put Shadow Imbuement in.
because you need to. Yeah. And with that build, I guess that you would do the whatever the Fan of Daggers, Fan of Knives version of that build,
Yeah.
because the basic abilities you can't imbue.
Oh, volatile shadows. Whenever Dark Shroud shadow is removed, you turn an
Yeah,
explosion
that's
that
what I was
deals
saying.
shadow damage and applies shadow imbuement to each enemy it hits. Can you take Dark Shroud stacks off yourself? Or do they have to be hit off by an enemy?
You'd have to get hit.
Okay. That's the one downside, is you'd have to make sure you're getting hit while evading around. I guess like stepping into shit intentionally
You're
would work.
going to get hit.
Yeah, realistically. It's true.
Even in the perma stealth build, I think like you're still gonna get hit every now and
That would be the way to always volatile everything.
Or, just Doombringer.
It's true. Cool.
All
Make it really hard
right.
to kill through. Shroud of Conduros. Casting Dark Shroud makes you immune for 2 seconds, but your evade cooldown is
That
increased.
one
That
seems
would work
interesting.
for this build. Evading while Dark Shroud is active, leaves behind an explosion that deals. Oh, well, if you can get the evade low enough and resetting.
Yeah.
Because then you're always pulling everything together, and that can shadow damage, and then you don't even need volatile shadows. Huh. Kind of interesting.
Balance preserved.
You're not going to be playing Thorn's Road realistically, but notable that being able... Well, actually, no. Never mind. That doesn't work at all with the totem. The totem is not going to proc Thorns. I'm full of shit.
Yeah, no.
Never mind.
You could give your totem thorns, that would actually be so funny.
Oh, wait, yeah. Like enemy AoE head start procking Thorns off the totem
You
menu.
just kill yourself with your own thorns.
Based. I love
Using
that
a
idea.
bold enemy with a marksman equipped still has a chance to summon a shadow clone and mimics that skill. So. Painful, yeah. So, whatever.
Change momentum. I think.
Wow, Unholy Rob. What a powerful name that is.
10 times 30% DR. That's probably
What's your hardest hitting core skill with like one cast?
one ability. It's penetrating shot.
What about Beastfall Boots? Plus, you play the Low Crowns Amulet. You stack a ton of, like, a shit ton of energy. You pop an alt, penetrating shot, and then reset your energy.
It's rapid fire, I think.
Rapid fire? Yeah. Did you ever do a Beastfall's Boots alt, damage stacking? If you, like, how much energy could you get?
Which one's
To make
Beastfall?
It's the boots that whenever you cast an alt, your next core skill consumes all of your energy and deals 0.75 per energy.
That was part of the one-shot rapid fire build.
Hmm.
You would do that with like the Banished Lord's Talisman and just get like a fucking nuke off, and you could kill a boss in one cast.
Yeah, that's true. You probably wouldn't even want to use luck rounds. You would just want to use that realistically.
I mean, you probably still could, but Locrans makes it harder because like the reason why I didn't do that build is because there's a lot of like different buffs that you need to all have align at once, and it's just like more work than I was willing to put in.
Yeah.
And so Locrons would be like another thing on top of that to try and have to stack.
Yeah.
But yeah, that build could kill bosses and like a tormented boss in like one cast of rapid fire.
Preparation. Spend the energy to release your ultimate skills. Click on ultimate skills. Reset other cooldowns to grant DR. What specialization would this use? Combo points? Probably not.
Well, okay. If you're doing the version with I can't remember what this is.
With the alt preparation, I guess.
If you're doing the flurry version,
yeah, for attack speed, yeah.
Combo points for the attack speed. Yeah,
No, fuck this.
Or
I
Intercept is
am
kinda just
not
generic,
doing this.
All right, you just get crit chance, 25% crit chance.
Or some weird
energy.
preparation death trap version.
Yeah, if you want to do the trap stuff, I think that's probably what I was doing with the grenade thing. And I like.
It's tough because with all the changes, like, fuck me, what do I want to play? Suddenly, a lot of interesting builds. I feel like I'm cooking up here.
I'll do Barb just to play a tanky class.
Yeah. Play Druid. Druid is fucking tanky too.
It's too complicated. It intimidates me. I don't know how
Really?
to build that class. Like, there's too many options that I just don't even know what to do. I don't know where to start.
Just play good old
Like, I feel like
Cataclysm now
I
that
feel
they
like
buffed it.
especially for Rogue and like maybe Barb and stuff, like I could put together a build. Like I would have to look up a build for Druid. I don't know where to start, and like there's too many overlapping things to know like what to do. I'm just like I am just so lost looking at the builds.
Wait, so Sky Hunter gives chance for marksman projectiles to cast twice. Would that stack with chance for a specific thing to cast twice?
I mean, probably.
It kind of reads like it would.
You would do that anyway. Like you would have like a chance to cast twice on like your two-handed, but you get it to at least 100%.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because you're getting chance for marksman to cast twice, and you're getting chance for your.
And oh, I see what you mean.
Specific
If
one to cast
you have
twice.
that, and it would maybe cast.
Does that give you 3 casts?
I don't think so, because if it said an additional time, it would, but it says twice.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. Just a little bit different because
Kinda
it eclipses all marksman projectiles, so it seems a little.
Kind of like, yeah. I mean, maybe because of that, but I think because it says twice, it still caps at just 2.
First direct damage you deal to an enemy is a guaranteed crit. Like that's not that great. Cool.
Yeah, you can get everything to be guaranteed crit with one of the key passives.
When you consume precision casting a skill, that skill gains 60
Precision
crit
is the
damage
key
and you gain
passive.
60 energy.
That's the better part of it, and precision is the like
Oh, I see.
the
Okay.
super heavy crit. Like that's what you use for like rapid fire and stuff like that. To
Sure.
hit just super massive crits and stuff. So it just kind of makes that key passive better. The critting everything on the first time is like whatever.
You have Alchemist Fortune. Non-fizz damage you deal has more lucky hit. Well, grenades are fizz, so you wouldn't use that. I guess it's kind of good if you want to play X-Falls, though.
Yeah, it's for the, like, imbuement builds.
I think you can make like an X-Falls road. Like you evade around, you proc the shadow damage imbuements, and then that procs X-Falls.
Shadow damage, the imbuement does not do damage over time.
That doesn't? Okay.
It does damage when the thing dies, or if it doesn't die, like the bosses and stuff, it does it like after a set amount of time, I think. Yeah, they just explode on death. And after 6 seconds, it will, if the infected enemy doesn't die, it just does that damage to itself.
Yeah. You'd want to use like poison imbue. Poison trap. What else? Poison imbue, poison trap. Is that it?
What is this?
Kind of? For non-physical. Well, I guess.
But like for.
Oh wait, just
like,
non-X-Balls.
You can.
It's probably just poison, right?
Alchemical advantage is like.
What is that?
Is it a passive? Dealing poison damage increases attack speed and lucky hit chance for 8 seconds.
I can see that the two of you will
Up
soon
to
be the
15% at max ranks.
You know, I'm thinking about it. Real talk, I should probably just get off. Like, I think I'm gonna grind some some rep stuff off stream. But my brain is mush. I'm not getting this group. It's not happening. I should, if I want to push mythics, I should either play tank or play earlier in the day. I'm gonna find someone to raid. Adventure Quest World. Wait a minute. Are there Adventure Quest streamers? See, there's 2 of me. Oh, is there seriously not a category for it? No. Adventure Quest Worlds. Damn it. No one's playing it right now. It's fine. We're just gonna raid Thub. I don't know. I want to like stream the whole mythic, like learning mythic meme, just because I've never really tried, and I think it'd be really cool to like actually record the process and see, I don't know, and see it. Because I don't think a lot of people do that. I think a lot of people wait until they're good to do it, and I'm not good, so it gives me I'm in a unique position. Anyway, good night.